going to be the 28th. From Sunday until Thursday, I'll be away. So you might be watching this on a replay, but this is Car Buying Mistakes. I'm the host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. But right now we are live. So what we figure we do, just so you'd have, for those of you who want to tap in next week, we're going to replay these shows. You'll see that a lot of people are going to ask the same questions that you have. From being around this industry since 2006, I can tell you there's only roughly 40, 50 questions tops that anybody could have. So many of you are in the exact same situation. So as you watch the replay, or whether you're watching us live, today is Thursday, May 22nd, you'll be able to get your questions answered, even if you couldn't join the live show. So good to see everybody checking in on TikTok. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, as well as TikTok. Let me just tap in over on Instagram and we can start to get these questions coming in. Now, what we do here is we really show you how the Cars from Home system differs from the normal way you have been taught to buy cars. I see we have someone who's underwater on their loan on TikTok. We'll get to that question. Let me just do some quick housekeeping for about 30 seconds. And everything I'll be teaching you is out of my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home. And that's not just our process, it's a mindset. And it's a 7-step system for getting below market deals. I want you to start, if you're really going to save the money, if you're going to learn about where the hidden money is in car deals, and there's hidden money everywhere. Again, I wouldn't know this if I wasn't in the industry. I'm not smarter than any of you. I just was inside the industry for over 14 years, and I still continue to work with the industry, studying the industry and helping people like you buy cars and lease them. And, so from the inside, I can tell you, you're going to discover there's a lot of hidden money you haven't known about. And the way we teach you to get it is by staying at home and creating an online bid. So everything I'll be teaching is outside of my book. It's called Cars from Home. And if you'd like a copy, you can get it. It's normally $97, but as our welcome special, you can get yours for $24, as long as you get to my TikTok bio, the Instagram bio, YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments before the timer hits 0. It's a 2-hour offer. So once you get there, you got everything we'll be teaching and more, because we very rarely have an opportunity to go through everything in our shows. We're here about 90 minutes. So you can feel free to start typing your questions. Good to see you, Shanita. Thank you so much for sending the gifts. Karen Barno, good to see you. Thank you for the sharers. I see everybody sharing. Thank you so much. Appreciate everyone who actually shares this show with friends and family, and with your people on your followers and your friends on social media. So Dolan, if you want to bring in the first question, we can do that now. And let's get the show on the road. Okay, underwater on the loan, almost 8,000. First of all, we need to know what the cause is. How do we end up underwater? Let's break it down to the simple. We take out a loan, we're looking to replace a car before the loan's paid off. It's that simple. So now let's diagnose the problem. Why are we looking to replace a car that we still have a loan on? Well, it's usually one of two things. Either the car doesn't fit your life anymore, or you had no plans to keep the car long-term to begin with. Most of the time, it's the last option. People had no plans to keep the car, took out a 5 or 6 or, God forbid, 7-year loan, no intention to pay the car off. They're going to trade that car and replace it in 3 or 4 years, in which case you're throwing money out the window because you haven't learned about leasing. So you have a lease lifestyle. Those of you who don't keep, step 1 in our process is called the 8-year rule. If you break the 8-year rule, there's nothing that I can do to help you save tons of money. You can go and you can get a huge discount off the car you're going to buy. If you're not keeping it for 8 years and you go to replace it, the depreciation is going to kill you. It's going to eat up all the money that we saved. So the 8-year rule is, who's always wanted to know leasing versus buying? Who always wanted to know? Because you may have heard, good to see you, Sunshine. Great to see you on YouTube. Who's always wanted to know? Because you hear the talks. Everybody has a little something to say. In fact, the reason that I came to TikTok is because there was a guy, he had 160,000 followers at the time, older guy, and somebody asked him, could you tell us about leasing? And he said, never lease cars. Always buy your cars. You're going to have they limit you on mileage. You're going to have a ton of fees. Horrible advice. Very costly advice. And I ended up coming to TikTok really shortly after that because I realized that if this is what was out there, then we were certainly in trouble. So leasing is for people who are not keeping their cars 8 years. Now, if you get a bad lease deal, goes out the window, which is why you hear me always say below market. Everything you should be doing, if you're learning from me, you should be thinking below market deals. There's only 3 prices we can pay on any car: below market, market value, above market value. People with no skills, you pay above market value. People with negotiation skills, you go back and forth, you get market value. I'm going to tell you why you don't get below market value, because you don't know the market. The only way you can guarantee you got a below market deal is you have to know the market, which is why my 2 favorite words are multiple offers. So when we're sitting here and we are trying to get you out of this car that you're underwater $8,000 on, first thing we want to look at is, how many years are you going to keep the next car? Sometimes it's an emergency. You had a plan to keep the car. You had triplets. Car no longer works. Deshone, I'm not breaking the 8-year rule. I'm going to buy something because I'm going to keep it 8 years or more. In which case, forget about leasing. Who's an 8-year or more person? Type me in the comments. You're an 8-year or more person. You are not interested in keeping a car 3 years, 5 years, 6 years. You're an 8-year or more person. Okay, I see you, Jules. I see you, Shanita. I see you, Henry Francis. 8-year or more person. You absolutely will a decade for you is you get a car, you check out for a decade. You're not looking, Miguel, I see you. These are the people who should be purchasing. They should be getting below market purchases or below market used car purchases, depending on their budget and their values. So we teach. Think you're out of the woods now. Those of you who are not, you're not getting bids. Even when you're purchasing, you are overspending by 4, 5, 6, 8 grand, 10 grand, some of you, depending on the car, because you don't know the market. So somebody tells you they're taking this off, you think it's good, not realizing a dealer 45 minutes away would have took off 4,000 more. Not realizing, there were hidden rebates that you didn't know about because they don't have to advertise those rebates. And so don't think you're out of the woods because you're not breaking the 8-year rule. But in this case, I need you to understand, the person who asked this question, what's causing you to be upside down 8 grand? And you need to diagnose that so you don't repeat this again. Now, if you say, Deshone, I'm keeping this car, you go purchase. If you say, Deshone, I'm leasing my next car because I've been breaking the 8-year rule. I always have negative equity. It never fails. Every time I go to replace my car, I'm underwater. That is your symptoms of you not understanding leasing. Okay? And we need to stop that. That's why it's step 1 in our process, the 8-year rule. So those of you who are shopping this now, what I'm doing, if I'm you, I'm swapping into a lease. Some of these electric cars, if you start to get bids the way we teach, we do this from home. You don't have to talk. I'm not arming you guys to go in and talk to car dealers who negotiate 3 times a day, 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. Not arming you to go in there and try to remember, what did Deshone say I'm supposed to say? No, everything we do is online, computers, email, copy, paste, back and forth. Now, if you're going to do it your way, you can call around. That's fine too. It's just all up to what you want. If you don't want to talk and you want to do copy and paste, that's the Cars from Home system. If you want to go and you want to talk and you don't mind getting on the phone with people, you call around, get a couple dealerships on the phone, and you say, hey, I'm not coming in, but I would like to give you everything you need so that I could get some offers here. And you get an offer, because some of these lease offers on these electric cars are amazing. So those of you who are absolutely upside down 8, 10, 15, 20 grand, some of these electric leases over 3 years are absolutely insane. We have people who are leasing cars. Do I have Zafrina up here? Zafrina got a 65. Where's Zafrina? She got a $65,000 Jeep. See, when I put all the new tests, I got to keep some of these old people up, Dolan, because some of those old people have very specific deals. Even though they were on 2024s, I want to keep them up. Now, but you look at somebody who got, let's see, where are 1% leases? See, the key is when you get your lease, here we go, perfect. Now, you got a $51,000 electric vehicle, Val got it. It's a $51,000 vehicle. She got a lease at 1.16. Now she got her bids, 51,000 at 1.16, no money down, is $592 a month on a $51,000 car. So now, in order for you to move, the more negative equity you have, the more you need the discount so that you don't mess up the loan to value ratios when you actually go and put your negative equity on top. So if you're buying a $30,000 electric car and then you try to put $8,000 or $10,000, the bank may not approve it, which is why you must find an electric car or at least something that you can get 8, 10, 15 grand off of it. And the deals are out there. They're out there. So we'll continue to, bring these deals so you guys can see some of these dramatic savings. I mean, Sean got 20 grand off his electric car last year. His F-150 Lightning in the last year, $20,000, almost 21 actually. Some of you know Milligan. I think our biggest success story with Cars from Home has to be Milligan. $79,000 Mercedes-Benz EQE. She saved $28,000 off of it. So I saw somebody who just said they got 20% below sticker. Again, unless you tell me, Deshone, I saw 4, 5, 6 other offers, there's really no way for you to know if did you really get the below market deal. And that's why we continue to wonder every time we drive off the lot. We can't, this is the only way to guarantee that you have paid the best price. You need to see other offers. So start there, and then let's get to some more questions because we got a lot of them coming in. I see you, Henry. I see you. Welcome to our Thursday show, by the way. It's Thursday, May 22nd. I'm away next week from Sunday to Thursday. So I'm going to be replaying these shows all through, the shows we did this week, all through next week. Many of you, you'll see, a lot of you have the same questions. So even if we can't get to your question, oftentimes you hang around for 60, 90 minutes, you'll hear someone ask the exact same question you were going to ask. All right, Dolan, let's bring it in. Okay, good to see you, Sunshine from YouTube. We're back. Okay, I've been following you. Thank you. And I have the book. Thank you. And I thought I had more time, but due to extenuating circumstances, I have to go for it. With the holiday deals, I feel less confident. What holiday deals? Listen, we don't focus on holiday deals. We're knocking down deals like, where's the $9,000 that we just got off on the GV80 Genesis through bidding? Hold on. I'm gonna start labeling these because I put a whole bunch of new testimonials in and they're not labeled. Good Lord, hold on. I want you guys to see this. See, because I want you to understand something. We're getting deals all the time. There is no time when we're not getting deals. Look at Marie. Some of you who want to look, Marie got $13,000 off her brand new 2025 GLC. But I'm more interested sorry, hold on. Okay. No, all right. I can't find it. I'll just be circling through. I'll just be pulling random testimonials that people send to me that I upload to the show. Here's the thing. Can you throw that back up for me, Dolan? That Sunshine's comment from YouTube. Here's the thing. Let me ask y'all this. Let's say you're selling something. You're selling something. Are you more likely to give a discount on it if no one's really interested in buying it, or if you have 20 people waiting in line to buy it? Nobody or 20 people? When are you more likely to give a discount? I'm going to tell y'all what we used to, I'm going to tell you why you need to ignore the holiday deals. Thank you, Nikki. When nobody's buying. So now, all through the month, dealerships are looking, all right, where's my customers at? Where's my customers at? Where's my customers at? Then they're looking at the last week of May. Oh, well, we know we're going to get a whole bunch of customers come in on Memorial Day weekend. Problem is, we've been taking deals down all month long. Thousands of dollars off, 8,000 off, 5,000 off, 10,000 off, depending on the car. This is what we're doing all month long. Why? Because we're talking to dealers way before there's 200 people coming on a weekend. Why would a dealer give better discounts when there's 200 people in the showroom? They got clowns and makeup and the balloon outside with the arms flapping, sales sign, 8 people waiting for each salesman lined up, people walking out. Hey, you guys need more salespeople. Why would we think we're getting a better discount when the register's ringing? They ringing bells, ding, 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 another sale, ladies and gentlemen. That's our 10th sale for the day. It's only 1 p.m. It's not because we're giving that you catch the 8th of the month when there's only 20 cars out and we need to get 200 out this month. Ooh, all right, we're way behind now. I hope somebody actually gives us an opportunity to sell a car. So that's why it's cars from home. If you're thinking about what's going on in there, then you're not thinking cars from home. We are just opening up. When you get to step 5 in the book, Sunshine, you're contacting 25 dealers in 20 minutes. I have a video that I'll link you to in the book to show you how to reach out to 25 dealers. You use our copy and paste scripts. In 24 hours, you're going to have people in your inbox. In fact, right after that, and then you're using our scripts to continue the conversations with everyone so that you can get out of that 25, you can get your 5 to 7 offers. That's how it look. That's how it's going to look. And it's going to look like this. If you're leasing, it'll look something like this. Here's a lease market report. When you consider, all right, this is an Infinity truck, $61,000 truck. Best offer so far on this market report is $680. Highest offer is $889. So you're going to see as you do this, and again, like I said, if you want to do it your way, you guys want to talk, I'm telling you, my 2 favorite words are multiple offers. If you're like Deshone, I'm going to do it manually. Get your multiple offers. If you're like, hey, can I do it without talking? That's cars from home. We have the process, the system that gets you the multiple offers as you use our scripts to keep these conversations moving forward. Now, once you get your offers, you're going to see at least a $150 to $200 a month spread. And every single time, this is the difference between below market purchases and market value and above market purchases. If you're shopping for a pre-owned car and you don't see a $3,000 to $5,000 difference between the car you picked up and the cars that were out there, you did not get a below market offer. If you are buying a brand new car, buying it, not leasing it, and you don't see a $3,000 to $5,000 to $7,000 difference between the offer that you accepted and the other offers out there, you did not get a below market offer. If you are leasing and you don't see a $150 to $200 per month difference between the best offer you accept and the other offers out there, you did not get a below market offer. Because that is the numbers. We do this all around the country. We got students, we got people who use our books. That is the numbers. That's why we call these dealers the 80%, who are 80% of dealers are not going to give you a below market offer. It's not going to happen. They would rather sell the car to someone else than to take more money off and be below market. They're not going to do it. And the only way you're going to see that is for you to start getting multiple offers for yourself so that you can experience what we've been experiencing for a very long time. So Sunshine, just focus on Step number five, hold on, let me follow up with her. Oh yeah, she answered. When no one trust the plan. Okay, I'm at the request lease quote steps. I will keep pressing. Perfect. Listen, no one's coming into your house and twisting your arm and saying, come into this dealership. Send out your leases, send out your offers. First thing we want to do is find out who has a match. That's it. That's goal number one. Everyone else is not important. I'm contacting 25 dealers. Again, I show you how to do this in 20 minutes. Once you actually get those offers in your, those people contacting you in your inbox, it's a matter of who has a match. If you don't have a match, I'm not interested, and I'm going to have conversations to see who has a match. And those conversations are all scripts. I mean, what do you see? Tell the people, Sunshine, how many scripts do I link you to in there? When you open up those scripts and those replies, easily what? 20? And then we have scripts before they confirm they have a match. We have scripts after they confirm they have a match and we're requesting a quote. And then we have scripts when we're ready to, send out counter offers. So just follow the process. Be patient with yourself. You can't make a mistake. Only mistake you can make is going into the dealership and getting requests for numbers, because you're going to walk into an 80% dealer. So no matter how much money they take off, they're not going to be what the 20% will be. So trust the process. You'll be perfectly fine. Yep, she said, yep, scripts for every scenario. When can you come in? Script for that. Hey, we only do quotes for people who are inside. Script for that. Hey, I have this car. Does this work? Script for that. It's all conversational because I've been on the other side. So again, those of you who are like Deshone, I like to do that way, that Sunshine's doing. I don't want to do any talking. I like to just be copying and pasting and having conversations that way. That's in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's normally $97. You can grab your copy for $24. That's our welcome offer, 75% off for the next 2 hours. Once that hits zero, goes back to $97. And so you can grab your copy and come on back to the show in my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. And as you can see, that'll probably be the most valuable book money-wise you ever have. Top three. Because Marie, she said she used the guide and she saved $13,000. That's her return on investment. Okay? That's her return on investment. $13,000. And mind you, she's going to get more cars. Her spouse might need a car. Her children might need cars. So this is the gift that keeps on giving. All right, let's go, Dolan. Shoot the next one up. A lot of questions coming in. This is our Thursday show. You might be watching a rebroadcast if it's next week. Right now, you're not watching a rebroadcast because it's Thursday, May 22nd. But I'm away next week, so we're going to replay this show all next week, as well as all the other shows we did this week, so that everyone can get their questions answered while I'm away. Because as I said, most of you have similar questions, and you'll see somebody's going to ask the same question you have. Lady T, good to see you. I have a question. My daughter just did bankruptcy 4 months ago, and they're giving her a hard time about a vehicle. Her bankruptcy was discharged. Well, that's because her credit is probably zero. So even if her bankruptcy is discharged, she has no credit now. So the key with a bankruptcy, from what I've seen people who went through bankruptcy, came out, got their first credit card, began to rebuild their credit very quickly, and within 6 to 12 months, they had a good credit score. But a bankruptcy discharge comes out with a zero credit. Your credit is blank. They can see a bankruptcy, or they may be able to see the bankruptcy, but they don't see anything that would make them lend you money. So if they don't see anything that's going to make you lend them money, then you're still a risk to them. So what I would do is follow Shonda Martin, Road to 750 Plus. She's awesome. And I would get your daughter set up to, rebuild credit very quickly, because when you're coming from zero, it's very, very easy to actually rebuild. But it's things you need to do. Part of it is actually getting her first credit card, and making sure she's not using it. $10, $20. And again, I don't talk about credit, even though it's a huge part of my business and helping you guys. I leave credit talk to the people who spent years learning credit. And that's why I refer people to Shonda Martin all the time, Road to 750 Plus, because she'll give you things, 1 or 2 tips, like me. You're going to hear, obviously this guy's been in the auto industry. He knows all the hidden tips. He knows where all the hidden money is. Same thing with Shonda. She's been in credit. She knows the regulation. She knows when new laws comes out. She knows all of that stuff. So get with her and then, get your rebuild. Well, your daughter rather. All right. And go ahead, Dola. And if she needs a vehicle right now, then you got to realize that she's going to pay. I mean, I would always say if you don't have the credit, you should really try to post up. Thanks, Gary and AZ. Good to see you checking in. Gary, you've been here for a long time on TikTok. Great to see you checking in, man. Regular follower, supporter of what we do here. Always a pleasure. You got to realize I want to hold out. I don't want to go into the expensive big purchases when I don't have credit. If I didn't have credit, when I didn't have the credit, what I did, I bought a car cash, and then I bought a buy here, pay here car, very inexpensive. I put $1,500 down. I think the car was like $3,500. I'm not looking to borrow $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 when I don't have the credit. I need something to get me from point A to point B. I'm not ready to walk into a dealership, pay. They're going to overcharge me for the car, and they're going to overcharge me for the interest. And, in my book, I have a strategy called the smart car strategy, saving money at the right time, where we're going to get a loan from a lender who lends with bad credit. You need a lender who's going to lend you the money independent of the dealership. In other words, hey, I see your credit. Yep, I'm going to charge you 19%, 21%. All right, go get a car. I'll lend you $12,000. Somebody like, who do we list in our book? They do a lot of loans with people, international people coming. Man, it's slipping my mind right now. Lord help me. Linbuzz. So we don't leave people with bad credit out to dry. We have several strategies in my book. For one of them is buy here, pay here. Because again, I did that when I was 21, maybe 20. Great decision. I got a car. It was I think 7 years old at the time. Small car. If you're going out getting big SUVs, again, this is not discipline. Oh, I don't have the credit. I need a huge SUV. No, you need to sacrifice right now, unless you're ready to just get rammed. If you're ready to get rammed, go ahead. Go get a $20,000, $30,000 car that's really, they're going to overcharge you for it, and then pay 22% interest. And then when you come and try to replace it in 2 years, you're buried in it. No, best thing to do is to set yourself up. Get an inexpensive car. If you got a couple dollars cash, $2,000, $3,000, try to find something inexpensive. Get a local mechanic. This is my sacrifice time. I just came out of a bankruptcy. I'm not balling right now. I'm sacrificing and I'm building. Give me a year, 18 months, 2 years. Let me set myself up the right way. Then I'll be able to pull off in a new car if I want to lease it, or go buy me a nice pre-owned car if I'm buying it 8 years. But this is sacrifice time. That's what we teach. Financial discipline. All right. If I'm buying, Gary and AZ, we never focus on local area. It's not even a question. That's the whole car from home system. We turn the whole 100, 200 miles into a big marketplace for us. If I'm buying a used car, and I don't want to go to you, Gary, because it's people who ask a bunch of questions before you. So let me stay orderly. It's good to see you, though. If I'm buying a used vehicle, should I ask for what they paid on the vehicle and negotiate from there? No, who's going to tell you that? This is horrible advice. Hey, what'd you pay for the vehicle? You see that door right there, sir? All right. Don't let it hit you on the way out. That's like, hey, what color underwear does your wife wear? None of your business. See what I'm saying? They're sending. So here's what we do. So being that I already ripped the bad, horrible car buying advice that's out there, like, hey, show me what you paid for this car. Here's what we do. You got to realize there's two types of used cars, people who sell used cars, two types of dealers. One, volume dealers. Volume dealers mark their cars up very small because they want to sell them fast. Think of it like Walmart. Welcome, Alma. Good to see you. New follower, Alma, on TikTok. They want to sell like Walmart. They're not marking their cars up a lot. Because if they mark their cars up, they're going to sit there for 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. Then there's another type who marks their cars all the way up, 5 grand, 7 grand, throws in, you know, $2,000, $3,000 of fake fees, the service plan, the low jacks, the key, all of this fake stuff. And all right, shout out to you. Thank you, Ron the God. Appreciate you sharing the show. And so that's, you got to know, how do we know who we're dealing with? Again, you hear me say that, those two different types of dealerships. What does that sound like when you hear me talk about one dealer who marks their cars up a lot and one dealer who marks them up like this and they want to move them quick, fair prices, quick? What does that sound like when I say, y'all hear me say, who's over here? Who's over here? See, I don't want y'all to think it's just new cars and used cars when y'all hear me talk about this. Who's over here? See if anybody knows. Let's see if anybody knows. I'll tell you, the 80%. The 80%. I continually want you to burn that into your head. 80% of dealers are overpriced. They're never going to give me a below market offer. It's their business model. New cars, used cars. So I told y'all, when you're shopping for your new cars, you're going to see a $3,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 difference, depending on the car, between the offer you accept and the highest offer. On used cars, you're going to see similar things, 3 to 5 grand. You're going to see. So now you got to know, who am I buying from? The 80% want me to come in, get 2,000 off, go to battle with them, think I won, but I still didn't win because they got fake fees. And what they did is you marked your car up $4,000, then you threw another $2,000 of fake fees on top. Now you took off $2,500 for me. You see what I'm saying? Did I win or did I lose? You marked your car up $4,000. Then you threw $2,000 in fake fees on top. So I come in, you take off $2,500 to make me feel like I got something. But did I win or lose? I really only got $500 off an already marked up car. Thank you, Joe. So that's the key, is who am I? Your whole mission should be, I got to get to the 20%. I hear Deshone talk about the 20%. When you see me show people who, hey, listen, I had my Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited delivered after following your advice and cars from home. Didn't have to go to the dealership at all. Almost everything done by email. Great advice. Made the car leasing experience fun. Why? Because I'm sitting at home. I'm getting multiple offers. I'm exposing the 80%, finding the 20%. Look, thank you, Deshone the 18. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's the least I can say for your book. Look, cars from home. We're in the middle of the process. Just sold our car today, like 10 minutes ago, for 30% above value based on the insights from your book. Now, how does he sell his car for 30% above the value? Multiple offers, bids. So the only way I want you to lock this in your mind. And a couple of you are focused. If you're focused, let me know you're focused. Type a $. Some of you, you're distracted. We're talking about huge money here. You hear me throwing out these big numbers and said 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. You hear me throwing out these big numbers. I want you to hold me to them. I'm not just saying these numbers because I'm just, oh, let me throw out some big numbers. And no, you hold me to them, but you're not going to get 3, 5, 10 grand off cars and win when you're over here cooking while we're talking big money. So your mission is to find the 20%. And you find the 20% from home. I'm going to give you a simple comparison to let you know how if you just change the mindset, your life's going to change when it comes to these cars. Think about where you find your best deals at on TVs. Think about some of you who you might go in the store and you see, okay, this spaghetti sauce is normally $6.99. But another store over here, different store, same exact spaghetti sauce is $2.99. Same exact spaghetti sauce. What would you say as you're buying the spaghetti sauce? You're making a big pot. You need 3 of them, 4 of them. What would you say to somebody who's buying the exact same spaghetti sauce? Not a premium version. They're just in a different store that is selling it for more money. And they got 4 spaghetti sauces, $7 a piece. They paid $28. You got 4 spaghetti sauces. You paid $3 a piece. You paid $12. You would probably say, hey, listen, if they didn't know. They didn't know. Sucks for them. That's how we feel about you guys with cars. No offense. I got to just give you the cough syrup. It doesn't taste good. But if you come over to this side where we're talking about, you'll see. I've been paying full price for spaghetti sauce, and I walk into the store and they convince me that all the stores are priced like this, when they're not. So it's the key about it is you shouldn't be negotiating. When it comes to used cars, you should be finding your used cars online, opening up all the marketplaces. By the time you go to drive to that dealer, you should already know this is the best price in the market. I've already verified there's no fake fees on top. I've already verified what the brand new price of it is to find out how much discount I'm getting. If I'm looking at a used car and it's $22,000, and then I'm looking at another used car and it's $23,000, they're both my color, black. They both have similar miles on them. Wouldn't it be helpful to know that this particular car that is 22, originally it was 35? This car over here that's 23, originally it was 41. Sometimes you can't see that. And it's not always that different, but when I got my truck, it was that different. I looked at 4 Infinities, narrowed it down, 4 white trucks. They all had similar miles, 30,000 to 31,000, 31, 32,000. I pulled the original price of them, and I found out one was 46 new, one was 48 new, one was 52, and one was 54. The one I got was 54,000 brand new, biggest discount. This is all stuff I lay out for you in my book. There's a reason when you go to Goodreads.com, you type in cars from home, you look at those reviews, look at those ratings, see what people are saying. You read what people are saying about this book. Just finalized my first lease ever using your system, 2025 Honda HRV, 30,505, $395 a month. 12,000 miles, no money down. And for those of you who drive more miles, I have high mileage lease lease path in there. But none of this is chance. So understand, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to start to shop and expose the 80% that have been putting you in car deals, and you drive off and you're like, all right, I hope I did all right. Hey, you think you got a good deal? I think so. I think so. Would you put money on it? What do you mean? Would you bet $1,000 that you got a good deal? Oh no. What type of position is that? You just spent 30 grand of your money, 50 grand, and you're driving off, already having buyer's remorse. So, that's my mission. I want to eliminate oppression in the auto industry, but it takes two. It takes two. The dealers will participate. The 20% will participate. They're waiting for you to find them. It takes you to unlearn what you've been taught and do it different and do things differently. And then it'll become your new normal, and you'll be like, oh, shoot, I'm never going back. Never going back to the old way of buying cars. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Let's go. For those of you who are like Deshone, where can I get the book? It's in my TikTok bio. It's in my Instagram bio. It's in the Facebook comments. It's in the YouTube comments. Click those links. It's normally $97, but it's part of our welcome offer. You got it for 75% off, $24 for the next 2 hours. And if you've been there, that timer goes down, Once that timer hits 0, top price goes back up to $97, which is still an incredible deal because you'll use this over and over and over again every time you buy a car. You're saving, your return on the investment for that book just continues to multiply. All right, go ahead. Let's go, Dolan. Shoot the next one up, brother. What's your opinion on BMW X3 versus Lexus RX 350? So here's the thing. I remember when I was at Mercedes, I sold this green car. It was like, it looked like a spaceship green. I would never drove it. Woman loved it. Why do they make cars that are different? Because everyone's opinion on cars is absolutely different. So personally, if you're asking me what I like, good. That doesn't matter. Here's what you need to know. If anybody who's asking, Deshone, hey, what about this car versus this car? It's only 2 things that matter. You need to go drive them. In my book, I tell you how to set up a test drive. You need to call specific. Don't just walk in. Who's walked in for a test drive and it wasn't pleasant? Who's walked in and like, oh, all right, I think I have one. All right, let me go. And they got you waiting. You've been waiting 20 minutes. Hey, you being helped? Yeah, the guy Joe said he was going to look for a car to see if I could test drive one. I don't know where he's at, but that's not the way we want to test drive. You want to schedule your test drives. You call the dealership. Hey, who's the salesman in there that everybody loves? Oh, well, that would be me. So now they have something to actually, they have a standard that they've set. Now, sometimes it's the receptionist and he'll say, I don't know. I don't really know. Everybody in here is nice. All right, let me ask you, who's been there the longest? And just everybody loves them. Probably Bill. Okay, Bill has a reputation to protect. All right, can I speak to Bill, please? All right, yeah, sure. Hey, Bill, how you doing? I'm looking at the car. I'm undecided, but I really want to test drive this car real quick. Won't be long, 15, 20 minutes. And do you have one? Can you check and see if you have one? Bill goes out, he checks. Yes, I have the car. All right, perfect. Your test drive is a presentation. It's not you going in to buy. This is why in my book I have something called shopping, not buying. This is step 4 of our 7-step process. Shopping, not buying. So the first thing you want to do is test drive these cars. Now let's just say, and quite honestly, I put this before the test drive because in my book we do this before the test drive. You go to Google, you type in the year, you type in the model, and you type in initial quality. That's going to tell you what the data is saying the first 90 days. That's initial quality. What are people saying about the car first 90 days? You type in, after you skim that, all I do is skim Google. That's it. Skim it. Do I see any red flag, any articles? Don't read articles from the dealership. What I mean is, or the brand. You'll see Motor Trend, you'll see Car and Driver, look at third-party sites and just look. Do you see lower than normal reliability? You see drivers report electric issues? Do you see anything that's like, okay, that's a little red flag there? Thanks, Latrice. See, because when I was at Mercedes, we had a Range Rover dealer right next door owned by the same brand. People pulling out in Range Rovers, 2010, 11, 12. Range Rovers, that Range Rover, this is great. In the shop in 90 days. Lights going off like a Christmas tree. That's initial quality. That's reliability. So once you do that, now if you're buying them to keep, you're not going to break the 8-year rule. Deshone, I'm not leasing. I'm keeping this thing 8 years or more. Now you're going to check longevity. BMW X3, longevity. See what it says. Are these cars expected to last? Do these cars have issues in the long term? And that's how you make sure. This is what I call checking the DNA of the car. This has nothing to do with, you could buy a car that was taken care of. With our used car system, we always check accident records. We always check service records. Most important thing is service records. But if the car has bad DNA, it was made and it has electric problems. It was made with a bad transmission. It was made with a faulty steering system. No amount of maintenance or care is going to guarantee you don't have those issues come up. So again, all of these things I'm telling you guys takes 5 to 7 minutes to do. 10 minutes max if you're slow. We're not going to car buying school here. My mission is to get you to your cars below market deals over and over and over as quick as possible. If you need a car in 2 days, 3 days, step, 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 step. It's a checklist. Check this off, check this off, check this off. Step 7, we're taking delivery. But if you skip these steps, you are skipping vital, important steps that could result in you either overpaying or having a bad car. So that's why I say, run the DNA, go test drive them. And then if you say, Deshone, I like them both, if you're purchasing them, get offers on both of them. Get multiple offers. We got people that do that. They shop 2 cars at once. They want to see what's the better lease program. Which one's going to give me a better deal? Do that. But that's what I would do to make, that's clarity. You see what I'm saying? You see how we operate with a plan? I just gave you 3 things to do. Go to Google, make sure these cars don't have bad DNA, test drive them the way I just told you to set up, find Bill over there, get your test drive done in 20 minutes, take a card, leave, do not sit down and talk numbers. We never talk numbers in the dealership. Cars from home, not the dealership. So go test drive and then you come home. And if you want to shop them both, you shop them both. Or if you narrow it down, some people will test drive the car and find out the car they thought they liked, they don't like. I remember we had this one young lady, she worked with us and she was like, man, she was in love with the Honda CR-V hybrid. And when she went to drive it, she didn't like the way it drove. Or maybe she decided on the CR-V hybrid. I don't remember. This is going back 2 years. But this is because some of you are scared to go test drive because you don't want to get, oh, I don't want to end up buying. Then just don't buy. Remember the rule. Step 4, shopping, not buying. Shopping is deciding what you want. That's deciding what you want is shopping. In our book, in Cars from Home. Deciding what you want. Hey, Sonia. So did you enjoy the test drive? Yeah, I enjoyed it. But I'm still deciding what I want. Let me get your card. If I decide this is what I want, I'll certainly reach out. Oh, you don't want to talk numbers? No, I'm still deciding what I want. I don't even know if this is what I want yet. You see what I'm saying? The only way you're sitting down to talk numbers is if you've decided this is what I want. And some of you sit down and talk. You should never be sitting down. If I had it my way, I snap my finger, I'd remove every chair from the dealerships. Because every time you walked in, you would be like, oh, there's no chairs in this dealership. I know why. Deshone said never sit down. Waiting for your test drive. Hey, would you like to have a seat at the desk? No, thanks. I'm just going to walk around. Coming back from the test drive. Hey, have a seat at the desk. No, that's okay. I'm just going to walk around. You know what I'm saying? Once you sit down, you've let them know that I could be interested. No, I'm here to test drive and get out of here. All right, so that's your step. Let's go, Dolan. Next question. Thank you, Lord Museum. Vampire King got the number 3 gifter badge. Latrice got the number 2 gifter badge. Thank you so much. I just leased a Toyota Land Cruiser for $641, $2K down, $5K equity, previous car. Okay, all right. See, here's the thing. Who paid you the equity? Who paid you the equity? Now, some of you who didn't know you could sell a lease. There's a lot of people on here who did not know that you could actually sell a lease, that a lease could have equity and you could sell it. Type me. Who paid you the equity for the lease? Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about that because we said leases can have equity and it could be, it's nothing like driving a car for 3 years and then getting money back, like a rebate. See, here's the reason. That sounds good. If a person just says, But here's the reason why I don't know if this person used what I teach, which means I don't know if it could have been way better. It could have been way better. See, he said I leased a Toyota Land Cruiser, 641, 2,000 down, 5,000 equity in the previous car. Here's what I'm listening for. How many offers did you get? Was this the best offer? Who paid you the equity? Did you go into the dealership and they said, hey, we giving you 5,000 back for your equity? Or did you get multiple offers from CarMax? Here's what you guys do right now. Everyone who has a car right now, and you're thinking of replacing it, you have a lease right now, it's coming due in the next 6 months or 3 months or, less than 6 months. You call your bank. If it's paid off, you don't need to call the bank. You get your payoff from the bank or the leasing company. And then you go to CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, Car Gurus. These are in my book. This is how we get bids because we don't trade. So the reason why this could be a overpriced deal. This could be a bad deal. I'm not in the business of telling people you got a bad deal. I'm just in the business of telling you there's no way for you to know this was a good deal because you didn't have offers. So if you had multiple offers, so here's how it would have looked. Example, I just leased a Toyota Land Cruiser. I got 7 offers. Another reason why I think this person didn't use what we teach is because they didn't list a percentage. Whenever we talk about leases, look at my people. Look, first ever lease, 1.2% ratio. Hold on. Let me find another one. Reached out to 20 dealers, 9 offers, 36 months, 12K. Hold on. Where's the percentage? This is a smaller one. 1.4%, because he got a new 2026. He got a 2026 GV70. He didn't want the 2025 because we're getting 2025 now for like 1.1, 1.2. And he got a 1.4 because he was, he wanted the new one that was just coming out. So look at Rosalie. Got 3 cars using the Shop with Deshone system. Cars from home, Shop with Deshone, 36,000 miles, $36,000 car, 1.09% lease. That means your lease payment is 1% of the MSRP. $30,000 car, $300 a month. $40,000 car, $400 a month. No money down. Look, she got 3 vehicles for her sons. $28,000 car, $339 a month. That's a 1.2% lease. $40,000 car, $420, 1.1% lease. And look how she talks about her equity. Similar to what this gentleman or this woman said, but I want you to hear the difference, to hear that even if any of my students, if you had my book and you had gotten your car using what we teach, or if you went through our Shop with Deshone video checklist, or you would be like, well, there's something missing here. There's information missing, so we can't really tell him if he got a good deal or not. And that's the set. Look at her. I sold 2 leases to We Buy Any Car and walked away with $6,700. So she got bids. She gets her best offers. She doesn't have to, and she knows the percentage. Right now, what if your Toyota lease could have been 541? We have no idea. The only way you would know that is if you talk to multiple Toyota dealers. You could do it your way manually, or you could do it our way from home by email. But this is what I'm saying. I'm not here to rain on your parade. I'm here to let you know what you just typed to me is buyer's remorse. A little bit of it. Because what you really were asking, is this a good deal? That's what you were really asking. I just leased this 641, 2 grand down, 5K previous. How do we do? So I cannot tell you how you did because you have not you get cars the same way everyone else does. No bids, no other offers, no way to know, hey, what if I could have got 8 grand equity for my car? This is what most people are doing. And again, I know it sounds like bad news when you come here, but I want you getting to where Rosalie is. I want you getting to where Frank is. I want you getting to where, look, Chad is. All of these people on the screen. Val is. Ken. Show these people all day. Sheree. Sheree's got 4 cars with me since she started with me in 2022. Look. Jen. We do all day long. Alex. They break down their entire deal. They ain't car salesmen like I was. How could these people come in and they post the car and they break down their whole deal? It's because I walk them through how to understand what they're doing. Not just, hey, here's the number. So how much did I have to put down? 2,000. All right, what's my payment? This. All right, and then how's my equity? 5. We giving you that back. No, bid out the equity. What if CarMax would have paid you 2 grand more? Carvana, AutoNation, what? You have no idea. This is why, at best, this is a market value deal. And what really bothers me about this is the fact they send you let them put you in a position to have buyer's remorse. You go out and you make these $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 transactions. You would never spend this type of money without wise counsel on any other item in this world, that you would go out and spend $30,000 to $100,000 without wise counsel. You would never do it. But you go in, you make these deals, and you come out already having buyer's remorse, really unsure about if I really got the best deal. Was there a dealer within 100 miles of me that would have made me a much better deal than this? That is buyer's remorse. So we want to eliminate that. And once you start using cars from home, you will eliminate that. But you have to be tired of the buyer's remorse. I've been tired of it. That's why I'm on TikTok making videos and doing live shows. I'm tired of you guys having buyer's remorse. Are you tired of it? All right, let's go, Dolan. Next question, brother. All right. How can I learn more about your strategy? This is my first time on your platform. Who's the first time here? Type number 1 if this is your first time on the show. You've never been on one of our shows before. Type number 1. I just want to give a shout out to the first time people. First time you ever seen me, you don't know who the heck is this guy. What is this unlearn, relearn? Nothing. Welcome, Latrice. Great to see you. Welcome. First time. Good to see you, YT. This is, by the way, our Thursday, May 22nd live. We are absolutely live, and you may be watching us on a replay because I'm away next week from Sunday till Thursday, so I'm going to just replay a lot of these shows that we did this week. You'll see them next week, but as for right now, we are live. Good to see you, YT. Welcome. So, first-time people, we teach a strategy called the Cars from Home process. It's a 7-step process. You can have it in book form. If you can piece it together, you can get it from my social media videos, because I put out social media videos and everything I put out is from my book. It's a digital book, so you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for it to be in the mail. You don't have to worry about websites changing. Oh, the websites changed, so therefore we got to put a new book out now. You know, last year Vroom went out of business, so we had to update the book because Vroom went out of business. We went right in, updated the master copy. It's a digital book. We opened it up. There's no room. So here's I just noticed we got May 18th on Instagram. So here's anyway, I'm sorry, that threw me off. So what we want to know is, what's your learning style? If you can follow a step-by-step blueprint, that's my book. You go to goodreads.com, you type in cars from home, you'll see tons of ratings. We're rated 5 stars. You'll see people who wrote reviews about the book, read their reviews. And of course, I get people who email me all the time about the book. But that's a 7-step process. You just follow it, and it's for everyone. No matter what your path, no matter what you're doing, everything is in that book. Whether you're a used car person, new car person, you don't even know what type of person you are. You don't know if you're buying or leasing. I teach you how to determine that in step 1. You need to know whether you're going to buy or lease before you ever go out and try to get a car. So buying versus leasing, I teach. Just everything's in there. Below market used cars, purchases, new cars, leases, high mileage drivers. Some of you, we haven't really talked about those, any of you high mileage drivers on the show today. Nobody really asked a question about that so far. But those of you who are driving 18, 20, 25,000 miles per year, you need very different advice and strategies than the average driver. Those of you who have bad credit, you need different strategies than good credit people. So that's all in there. So normally the book's $97. You can get your copy for $24. That's our welcome offer. It lasts for 2 hours. Anytime, once you visit the site, you'll see the timer start to, click down. And you can grab your copy in my TikTok bio. It's a link there. It's in my Instagram bio. There's a link, YouTube comments or the Facebook comments. And you'll have our process. Now, there's other ways you want to learn. We have those too. We have video checklists where you work with me. I make videos. I've already laid out a video. 2,300 people have gone through our video processes. And I coach with them. And, that's their learning style. They like a group. We have a private Facebook group. They kind of like support. They don't, community. And again, the key is to understand this, guys. Hold me accountable to the return. See, poor people think about cost. People who are financially savvy think about value. Unfortunately, I do understand that the economy is tough. I understand that. I also hold myself to a high degree of accountability concerning the return, which is the value. So you think somebody like Marie, who got my book and who got $13,000 off of her GLC, we didn't even talk about the bank bidding war. She used that to make sure she gets the best loan. We didn't talk about her bidding out her old car to make sure she's not leaving any money on the table, trading it. She just, in her mind, let me tell Deshone about the biggest win. I got $13,000 off. So unfortunately, that's why I said you have to be ready to change. The system is proven. System's proven. You can do it. It's a simple step-by-step process. So it's just you have to be ready to come out of this programming that, unfortunately, they've been programming you guys for a very long time. They've been programming you guys to walk into dealerships no matter what. You hate it, you're going to walk in. I cannot stand this process, I'm going to walk in. That is programming. I know that this is a terrible problem. Listen, Memorial Day deals, commercials. Even when I get the commercial, it's still a horrible. That's what you call a program. So that's why that's why I represent unlearn, relearn. So, but I want you guys writing me. I want you writing me, YT, Latrice, your car deals. And if you can't write me your car deals, then that means you don't feel proud about the car deal you got. When you're in my inbox, Deshone, check this out. Man, I just pulled this out. Good. I just got $7,000 off, man. I got 8 offers. I sat right here, did the whole thing by email. Congratulations, bro. You won. You won. Everybody else, I'm sorry. You're not winning. So, and the only way you should feel bad about that is if you're staying over there. See, if I'm inviting you to a winning team, like you get recruited to come, yo, we're winning over here. Big wins, never lost. Never lost. Undefeated. Best car shoppers in the world. I would put Rosalie I would put Rosalie and some grandmothers that have our system, that use our system, got 2-3 cars. These people are grandmothers. I would put them against give them the best negotiator in the world. You give me somebody who negotiates every day for a living, Rosalie will crush them because she's going to stay at home and she's going to talk to more dealers than they could ever talk to in a matter of minutes. So we're the best in the world. We're inviting you to the winning team, and we're telling you, y'all over there losing. You could get offended if I wasn't inviting you to the winning team. If I'm just like, hey, man, y'all losing out there, man. Whew, we doing so good over here. It must be nice to be a winner. Oh, shoot, how does losing feel? How does leaving cards with... That'd be different if I'm not giving you the way in. Hey, I'm giving you the olive branch. Come on over here. $24. Get your book. Hey, come on over here. Cars from home. Shop with Deshone. Hey, come on over here. Start with our free cheat sheets. Come into our world. But I'm not going to invite you to our world and then act like you're winning too. That just would be disingenuous. Trying to get a used 2017 RX 350, but I owe $7,000 on my 2013 Ford. You should be leasing. You're buying cars that you're not keeping. You're not paying them off. You should be leasing. You're talking about going from a used car to another used car. Why aren't you leasing? Why aren't we leasing? I'd love to hear the answer. I don't know how fast you could type, YT, but since you're new to the show, I'd love to hear your answer. Why aren't we leasing? I mean, let me tell y'all what just happened yesterday. Y'all remember, if some of you were on the show earlier, maybe a month ago, not even, maybe 3 weeks ago. You remember I told you about my daughter, my niece, and my payment would be too high, and I'm a single parent. Your payment would be too... Let me finish my story. Okay. Let me finish my story. First of all, you're talking about buying a 2017 Lexus, and you're talking about a high payment, but we're talking about buying a 2017 Lexus, not a 2017 Toyota Corolla, not a 2017 Honda Civic, 2017 Lexus. A Lexus. But we're talking about payments being high on a lease. What do you expect your payment to be, YT? Don't let me forget to tell y'all about what happened yesterday with my niece. YT lease brand new. 400. Okay, 400. $400 is going to get you a $20,000 car. That's alone, $20,000. So now my niece, I keep saying my niece, my lease. So, all right, so last month, my niece, my daughter, and then a young man, he's like a nephew to me. They all reach out to me. Probably the last 2 months, 2 months ago, something. They reach out to me. They all need cars separately. My daughter's getting her license in next month. My niece is 20. She's already had her license, but she hasn't needed her own car. Now she needs it. She's 20. And then there's a young man who's like a nephew to me. He's 20, and he needs a car, but he's in the Navy. So I asked them. I said, "How long you guys going to keep the car?" I asked them at all three of them. You going to keep it 8 years? No. You're going to be making more money. Family's going to change. Lifestyle's going to change. Okay, so if you're not going to keep it 8 years, you're going to throw money out the window trying to purchase a car. You should be leasing. You should be shopping. Now, I don't know when I don't know if y'all, we don't go by commercials. I have never looked at a lease commercial and cared what the heck it said. When you hear people, when you see the lease deals that we're getting, they are nowhere near what the commercial said. Look, Glenn got his Q8, 1.4% lease. Highest quotes was 1.8% lease. When he when he looks at his lease and looks at the commercial that says you can lease this for $700 a month with $4,000 out of pocket plus taxes, that ain't what I paid. We don't pay attention to commercials. So anyway, my niece is first up. She calls me last Wednesday. She says, no, 2 weeks ago. She said, I'd like to go test drive the Hyundai Sonata. I think I like that. I said, okay, well, you want to have a couple choices. I said, it's best if you could have, at least two to see which one has, just in case the first one has a bad lease program on it. So she says, okay, well, I also like the Nissan that my mother has. I said, okay, that's a good second choice. So she goes, she test drives I said, how much can you afford on a month? She said, like $350. Okay, perfect. She goes, she test drives the car. She said, I like the car. We get multiple offers for her starting Thursday. By Saturday, her best offer came in. It was $310 a month. No money down. 12,000 miles per year. Brand new $28,000 Hyundai. Now, she had offers of $450. So some of you be like, Deshone, I went in, the dealer told me $450, 80% dealer. That's the 80%. Welcome to the 80%. That's your introduction to them. $290. Now, I said, how many miles you need? She said, I only work like 3 miles from work. Okay, you need 10,000 miles. That'll be good. 10,000 miles a year, that'll get you to work. You can take a couple trips, a couple times a year. You want to take a trip, drive down south, you can do that. 10,000 miles a year is just fine. You're only going to put 3 miles, 6 miles a day on your car, going back and forth to work. So she adjusted it. We adjusted from 310 down to 295. I think it was 313 originally. 295. 295. $28,000 car. She's driving it. Want to see the picture? That's her. 20 years old. Brand new lease. $295 a month. Look. Look, when was that? Yesterday. 20 years old. Brand new car. Most of you would have went out and bought a used car. So you're talking about payments, YT. But will it at least be a good option for me? I drive a lot during courier service. So get more miles. Get more miles. I told you I adjusted her miles down because she only needed 10,000 miles a year. You might need 15. And if you're driving for work, then you should be making money. I'm telling y'all, man, these people who told y'all about leasing, they owe y'all money. They owe y'all money. Dave Ramsey, he owes millions of people money. If I got 10 minutes, that's all I would need. If I got 10 minutes, I don't think I would need more than that. And again, I give credit to Dave when it comes to helping people invest in the stock market, mutual funds, pay off debt. Great job, Dave. One of the best in the world. When it comes to these cars, you have ruined people. You've ruined people. Leasing is the most expensive way to own a car. Ruined people. Now, thank God, we've been out here for 3-4 years showing the numbers, showing the data, and showing, you're getting bad lease deals, and you're telling people don't lease because you got a bad lease deal. You're blaming the lease. You went out, signed the lease, knowing you drive 17,000 miles a year. You took a 10,000 mile a year lease, and then you went over by 7,000 miles every year, 21,000, and they billed you for the additional mileage, and you told people don't lease because you didn't get the mileage you needed on the lease. And you out here saying never lease a car. These people owe you money. They have cost you so much money. And experience. And the experience of driving a new car. Being dependent. You got cars that are breaking down. Every time your car breaks down, and I'm not talking to the people who Or again, raise your hand, the 8+ year people. Raise your hand so we can let everyone know we're not talking to them. The 8+ year people, tap back in. Because we asked earlier who keeps their cars 8 years or more. We got a bunch of people raise their hands. Not even thinking about leasing. It's a certain car that I want to buy in the future. I'm not going to think about leasing it because I know I'm keeping it for 10 years. But when it comes to you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you are breaking the 8-year rule over and over and over again. And every time you're out there and your car is breaking down after 6 years, or you got to come in and you got to do maintenance, or you got to go and you got to change tires, and you got to go and you got to change your air filtration system and all of this maintenance that's necessary when you buy these cars. And then you go and you just swap it out, do it again. Sometimes you don't even pay off the loan. You could be driving way better cars, brand new cars, way less money than you're paying them if you just understand 2 things: leasing and how to get below market leases. You cannot just walk into a dealership. Hey, I love this guy, Deshone, the auto advisor, told me, man, I want to lease. If you've been an 80% dealer, they'll tell you, the leases are high. 80% dealers, they ain't going to make you ain't going to get no good deal. And then it's going to be like, hey, I thought these numbers don't look like the numbers Deshone was saying his people getting, because they're not. Only way you're going to get the numbers that we're getting is if you stay at home, call around to get offers, or you stay at home and use our system to email to get offers. That's the only way. Forget about getting the offers we're getting. If you just say, oh, I just want to walk in and see, maybe I can get one of those deals Deshone be talking about that he be showing on his show. No, you're going to walk into an 80% dealer. All right, let me just read these comments before we go to the next question, Dolan. Hold on. But will a lease be good options? Corey Sirs, yes. Oh, thank you for the gift. You got the number 3 gifted badge, YT. Thank you. So does it cost more to get extra miles for a leased vehicle? Absolutely. But so check this out. So let's say, like my niece, she got her Hyundai Sonata. She's paying $295 a month. I told you, had she drove 12,000 miles per year, she would be paying $313. Now let's say she wanted to drive 15,000 miles a year. That's about $30 more. So from $313, $343. Now let's say she wanted to drive 18,000 miles a year, from $343 to probably $380. But she's driving $390, but she's driving 18,000 miles a year. You get what I'm saying? So the key is you shop, you get your best offer, you find the dealer that's going to make you the best offer, who wins the bid, and then you add your mileage with them. Hey, I know you're at $295, but what would my payment be at 18,000 miles per year? Okay, it's going to be, $100 more, $90 more. Okay, perfect. And you get the miles you need. Because here's the thing. You've been lied to in thinking that you can drive cars. If you buy a car right now and it has, let's say you pay $20,000 for it. Now you go and you put 20,000 miles a year on that car. Well, doesn't your value of your car go down way faster than someone who doesn't drive as much as you? See, people have been taught, oh, well, I buy my car so I can drive as much as I want to drive. You tell that if you bought a car for $35,000 and then you put 30,000 miles on it, and then you compare it to a person who paid the same, but they only put 7,000 miles on it, when y'all come back in a year, your car is worth a whole lot less. Your car is probably worth 5,000, 7,000 less because of the mileage you put on it. So you're not getting away with it. It's just you're not seeing the depreciation. You're not seeing, oh, I'm paying for it. It's just coming out of my car's value. And then you have your loan there and you think, wow, well, I'm not feeling it in my loan. No, you're not, because your loan is just your payment. That has nothing to do with the value of your car. It's the value of your car that's going down based on the way you drive. That's where you're paying at. See, you're not looking, you're like, well, Deshone, I'm paying $375 a month. I don't get how, see, but now how'd you start the question? You started the question saying, I have negative equity. You started the question saying, look, I owe $7,000 on my 2013 Ford. Now, depending on how many miles you got on it, you might not have negative equity, but I know you still have a payment. But depending on the miles, if you got a lot of miles on that car, you do have negative equity, which means my payment is good. I could afford the payment. How do I end up with negative equity, which now I have to carry over to my new car? So when I get my new car, they could tell me, all right, good news, YT, we got you to $350 a month. Oh, that's good, perfect. But the bad news is when we add your negative equity of $5,000, your payment goes from $350 to $440. Oh man, that's because the decisions from the past just came back now. Just came back now. See, because it's not the payment. The payment is what you can afford. What you're not realizing is you're destroying the value of your car with the mileage you drive, and you're thinking, I'm getting away because I bought my car, so I can drive as much as I want. No, you cannot. Not when you got a loan on it, and you're going to be replacing it in the short term before you even pay off the loan. So now it comes back to you. Hey, here I am. Here is the decision. Here's the results of not leasing. Here's the results of thinking that you can drive as much as you want because your loan wasn't moving. But your value of your car was dropping drastically. So yes, you're going to pay for the mileage whether you buy or lease. Does not matter. You pay for your mileage whether you buy or lease. That is called depreciation. You drive more, you depreciate more, you pay more from your value. You drive more on a lease, you're going to pay up front though. What I love about leasing, when you're, again, only for people not keeping their cars 8 years, is we know what we're paying for depreciation. And the way I found this out is when I was a manager at Hyundai and that gentleman came and he was returning his lease and he had 72,000 miles on the car. And I said, what the heck? You leased this? He said, yeah, listen, I always lease. He was in sales. He said, I'm in sales. I'm always on the road. I used to buy my cars. I always had negative equity. I always had to put a ton of money down. I never got that money back. I started leasing, and I do a 25,000 mile a year lease. And when I looked at his payment, think about it was similar. Look at my niece. 295 is 10,000 miles per year. 313 is 12,000 miles per year. 343 is 15,000 miles a year. 390 is 18,000 miles a year. If she wanted to go 25,000 miles a year, she'd probably be at 450, 460. So from 295 to 450, it's only about 160 bucks a month, but she's driving 25,000 miles a year now. So for an additional $160 a month times 36 months, so for an additional $5,700, I get to now go and drive 25,000 miles per year. Whereas if you bought that car and then put 75,000 miles on it in 3 years, it's worthless. You probably got $20,000 of negative equity. That's what it's about. What about if we crash it? All right. So all of this is laid out in my digital book, Cars from Home. Everything I'm teaching is out of Cars from Home. None of this is I'm not winging any of this because I don't want you winging the car buying process. That's why we wrote a 7-step book that walks you through the car buying and leasing process, that walks you through everything we talk about here in a blueprint that you can just follow, check off, and get to your ride, get to your below market deals, structure your deals correctly. So it's normally $97, but our welcome offer to you is $24 if you get to my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, Facebook comments, YouTube comments. You can get yours for $24. It'll be in your inbox 2-3 minutes, and you'll have everything we teach forever. You can do this over and over and over again. And the thing is, it's leasing in there, it's purchasing in there. I mean, I again, below market. Because I think everything below market, if you're not, like I said, $3,000 to $5,000 to $7,000 from what other people are paying, then you're not getting below market. And when I say 7,000, some of these cars, you're going to see the savings are much more dramatic. Much more dramatic. And we never know what they're going to be. Could be a $51,000 electric vehicle that the below market offer on that is $17,000 off. You think you got, you're going home raving to your wife. Hey, you guess how much they took off for me? $8,000. Okay, but the below market deal was 16 off. So are you going to feel as excited telling your wife, hey, I left $7,000 on the table because I didn't, multiple offers. It's my two favorite words. If my shirt didn't say unlearn, relearn, it would say multiple offers. I love it. My two favorite. It's how we buy everything else in life except cars. You buy everything else in life with multiple offers. Houses, groceries, TVs, electronics, everything else. Cars. See, think about that. Yeah, is that true or true? Everything else in life you buy is multiple offers. Multiple people presenting prices to you. You want a TV right now. Why can any of you go and buy a 90-inch TV? If we said, go buy a 90-inch TV, make sure you don't overpay. Is anybody worried about overpaying for a TV? 90-inch, 120-inch. Screen take up the whole wall. Anybody worried about overpaying for that? Anybody worried about getting, thank you, Dak, I like that. Multiple offers equals leverage. We call that one to many. You can negotiate 1-to-1, no leverage. You can negotiate 1 to many. Leverage shifts the scale to your favor. I'm going to get a better offer because they're not just negotiating with me, they're negotiating with each other too. No one's worried about a 90-inch TV, a 100-inch TV. Why? Because you know exactly where to go. I'm going to Walmart, I'm going to Amazon, I'm going to this, I'm going to these 4 websites, and then in 20 minutes, boom, I bought the TV. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The confidence comes from multiple offers. Buyer's remorse comes from one offer, maybe 2. Buyer's remorse. If you walked into Walmart right now and they say, hey, yeah, we got a 100-inch TV. It's $22.90. All right, listen, I need it. Buyer's remorse prone. Why? Because you didn't check around. You would never do that, though. You never walk into Walmart, see one 100-inch TV, run your card, give them the cash, and leave with that TV. You would never do that. That's what you're doing with cars, though. That are 10 times and 20 times the cost of the TV. One price, 8 other Nissan dealers in a 100-mile, in a 30-mile radius. No, we're not going to check with none of them. 100 Nissan dealers in the tri-state area in the southeast. No, we ain't going to check. I'm going to walk into 2. And then I'm tired. I think that's it. Y'all all got to be the same price anyway, right? No. So anyway, I think I beat that horse dead. All right, so listen, I wanted to make this. I wanted to let you guys know I'm going to be away next week. That's why, today's Thursday, May 22nd. But we'll be away next week. I'm going to replay the show over and over again. And all the shows we did this week, we'll be replaying them next week. So even if you're watching this you'll understand that most of you have the same questions. Your questions about leasing, your questions about, is this car good? Your questions about, how do I know this? All of these are, that's why I think people stick around on the show, because even when they don't see their questions asked, they figure, oh, someone's going to ask the same question. So that's, again, why we rebroadcast these shows. But Dolan, you see any more? I know we had a bunch. And I think what I'll do, though, and I think Dolan knows this because he's been, moderating my lives for well over a year now, I'll answer multiple questions in one question. So with YT, somebody was, hey, what about leasing in the mileage? So as people that may say, hey, Deshone, I thought they limit you on mileage. Well, once I'm going to YT, I'm already answering the question about lease mileage in his question, even though he didn't necessarily ask about lease mileage. So that's the way it works, because these things are kind of interconnected. You'll hear, oh, shoot, Deshone, thanks. You just answered my question. And that person didn't even ask it. But as I'm walking you through a process, I'm going to make sure you understand, you'll hear your question answered. So that's it. I think we're good for today. I do invite you all to continually tap in with us here, continually watch our videos, because what you're going to see is we have a patented system here. None of the stuff we teach is recycled. In fact, I think in our book we probably have at least 10 things that are trademarked, that literally are going to be 8-year rule of 72 on the 10th birthday, the perfect budget calculator, true value discount on used cars, from a new car price to a used car offer. That's all that matters. Does not matter what people are asking for their used car. It only matters how much it was when it was new and how much they're asking for it now and what that discount looks like. Everything else is a made up arbitrary number that doesn't matter. How do we know $22,000 for this price? This car is good. Is that a good price? But if I know that you're offering me 44% off the original price, there's another Honda Accord down the road. They're only offering 30% off the original price. There's another Honda Accord over here that I like, and they're offering 60% off the original price, but it has 15,000 more miles, and I can now balance that and weigh that out. That's what matters. True value discount, counter offer calculators that we wrote. We have 5 calculators in my book that I created. We actually took the mathematical formula, wrote the code, created the calculators. You can't see them on Google. When you hear people saying, oh, I sent out all the counters, they're putting the offers into our counter offer calculators. The counter offer tells them what to send. So this is not recycled information, which is why you will never hear anybody. Deshone, I hear you talk about the 8-year rule, but I never hear any car people talk about it, because they probably are concerned that we might hit them with a trademark violation or an intellectual property violation, because they know that that's stuff that came specifically from us. Not that I would, because I want more of you to understand the 8-year rule, so you can stop buying cars that you're not keeping 8 years, and you can start getting below market leases. So I would love for everyone to be talking about the 8-year rule. But that's why the stuff we talk about here it doesn't sound like anything that you hear from any of these other car people. We invented it. God gave it specifically to us. So, all right, well, everything in the show is sponsored by my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. I invite you to get your copy. Take advantage of the welcome offer, which is 75% off. You won't pay $97. You'll get yours for $24. It'll be in your inbox in 2-3 minutes. And you can grab yours in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. And for those of you who have a different learning style, if you want to actually work with me and shop for cars together for the rest of your life, you want to look at Shop with Deshone. That's our video checklist. And we have our private Facebook group, and we coach twice a month in Zoom. That's if your learning style is more done with you. You like a group. You do not need that. It's no different information in the book than it is in our video checklist. The only difference is some people like support. Some people like, okay, I want to ask a bunch of questions even along the way, or I might have 2, 3, 4 questions that I want to ask. It may not even be a lot. And then we have a community with, 1,600 people in our Facebook group that have come before you. So this ship has sailed a long time ago. It's a yacht. It's a beautiful yacht. We're on it, celebrating every single time we get a car, and we invite more people onto the ship. And for those of you who would like us to shop for you, see if you qualify for Done For You, Cars from Home Done For You. You can book a call with our team. It's a free 10-minute call. See if that's right for you. But we only shop for leases and new cars, and your FICO scores must be over 670. FICO scores, not Credit Karma. Okay, because when we actually take these deals down for you in 5, 7 days, 2 weeks, most of our deals right now we're closing in about seven days, and you can do that too. So even with the book, this is not something that should take you. Again, this ain't car shopping school, y'all. You should be getting to these cars in 7 to 10 days. Once you decide what you want, 7 to 10 days. So, but yes, new cars only, leases only, and FICO scores over 670. So other than that, I think we are good. It's been a pleasure. I'll tap back in tomorrow. I am going to do one more live show because I want to have plenty to rebroadcast next week. I don't know what time I'm going to come tomorrow, but I certainly will pop in live tomorrow for probably another 90 minutes. All right. So pleasure, everybody. God bless you. Continue to unlearn, continue to relearn, and, just understand how much money is in these cars. And I want you to know where all of it is, all the hidden money. Okay, God bless y'all. See you soon. Big Mike, welcome to the crew. I see you, new follower. Welcome. See you soon. Car shopping now. Who's car shopping? Type me in the comments if you're car shopping now or in the next 6 months. The reason why I say that is because oftentimes we wait till the last minute to car shop. We don't realize how that hurts us. We don't want to continually shop every single time we shop. It's an emergency. You lose the ability to see the deals change from month to month. You lose the ability to see used car trends, used cars drop in value, go up in value. You lose the ability to really position yourself for a great deal because you wait till the last minute. So what we teach at Cars from Home is to be in the market 3 to 6 months early. Do your equity assessment. Some of you have equity in your cars. If you have equity in your cars, then that positions you to make a move anytime you want. So you want to go call your bank, and this is for those of you who have a payoff or a lease. Call your bank, find out what the payoff is, and then go to get your 6 cash offers because we don't trade cars. CarMax, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Carvana, Car Gurus, and AutoNation. That's step 2 of the Cars from Home process. Go find out what your equity position is. Some of you are in leases right now. You have 3 months left, 6 months left. You may run, I like to tell you, run your equity when you have 6 months left. You may have not known you can sell a lease. You just found out one thing you didn't know. That's again, this is called car buying mistakes. So you're going to hear a lot of mistakes that you've made that have already cost you thousands of dollars. And the goal is for you to stop making those mistakes now so that we can get all the money. I need you to know all the money, all the hidden money in car deals. What's up, Ross the Boss? Good to see you, Daniel. Good to see you, Brian. So this entire show is sponsored by my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's 5-star rated already. You can Google it. Thank you for those of you who've taken the time to rate it on Goodreads. And that book has helped like so many people. I get these emails every single week of people who are using the book and saving thousands of dollars. Marie saved $13,000. Now that book's $97, but we have a welcome offer where you can get it for $24. You head to my TikTok bio. You only got a little while to do it, 2 hours. Go to my TikTok bio and get your copy. It's a 7-step formula. You won't pay $97. You'll pay $24. And you can be like Marie. You can be like so many other people that's saving $5,000, $10,000 off of a $24 book. And I love it because it just makes the value. I'm all about value. So we have another link for you guys in the comment section on YouTube, in the comment section on Facebook, and in my bio on Instagram. Go get your copy. And so start typing your questions, everyone. We're going to try to get through as many questions as we can. Let me just share this on my Facebook page so we can get. All right. I see you, Daniel. I see your question. Dolan, let's get to Daniel's question on TikTok. We already got questions coming in. And then as questions come in on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, we'll start pulling those into the show. Good to see you, Rick. Good to see you, Kayla Brown. Good to see you, David Poe. I don't want to butcher your name, so I won't even try. But let me just share this. And all right. And just give me about 10 seconds and we'll start answering some questions. So while I'm doing this, you guys could be typing your questions so that by the time I'm done sharing, and those of you who are the sharers, shout out to the sharers. You share it with a friend as well while I share these on my other pages. Thank you so much for those of you who help us get this message out. We can't do this without you. Harry Cousins, good to see you checking in. Good to see you, Jill Rivas. Checking in on Facebook. All right. Okay, let's go, Dolan. All right. I need a new vehicle, but I'm upside down and I want to trade. Okay, pay no attention to the question from Nikki asking if you have gap insurance, okay? Nikki, we're not promoting insurance fraud here. Okay? Oftentimes, when you're upside down, this is, first of all, just so you know that the reason you're upside down is because you don't understand leasing. It's that simple. Some of you may know, who's the first? I know, Nikki. I know you're just kidding. So am I. That's a running joke with people. Hey, well, you know, hey, listen, grab the keys, parking on the Verrazano Bridge. You know, you got gap insurance. So no, I understand totally. So, you know, some of you may know, if you're first time here, you've never been on the show with us, you've never been on car buying mistakes, just type the number 1 so we can give a shout out to everybody. We can know. I want to know who I'm talking to because we got people here like Nikki. We got some regulars that check in and they kind of know a lot of the Cars from Home systems that we teach. But if you're a first timer here, we don't want to assume. Southern Creole, good to see you. Rachel, let me hop on Instagram so I can give some shout outs to Instagram. So the reason why you're upside down is because you don't understand leasing. So leasing is made for people who are not keeping their cars 8 years. And the only way you're going to avoid this negative equity is to have is to put tons of money down, $10,000, $15,000 down, or take very short-term loans, 3-4 year loans, which you're not going to get that money back. You're going to pay all of this money. And then when you go, you probably just end up, whatever little equity you have, if you have it, you end up trading it. I know you're not leasing. I'm telling you why I'm going to give you the direction to get out of the negative equity. But if you don't know what's causing it, you're just going to go back into it because you're going to end up buying another car, taking another 5-6 year loan out, try to replace that car, putting little money down, and then replacing that car in another 3 years, and you're just going to have more negative equity. And again, I'm telling you what most people will tell you. They'll tell you you have negative equity because you're not putting a lot of money down. Well, put 20% down, you won't have negative equity. All right, so I put 20% down. What happens to my 20%? What happens to my my $7,000 that I put down. Oh, well, you won't get that back, but at least you won't have negative equity. Okay, so I get nothing back. Well, yeah, but at least you don't have negative equity. Okay, not doing that. And then they'll tell you, we'll take a 4-year loan instead of a 5 or 6 year loan. So then it's like, okay, so you're telling me to put more money into the car. That's the solution. Instead of a $500 payment, take a 3-year loan for a $800 payment. Hey, I'm not taking anybody live on the show. So let's just ask your question, but I'm not bringing anybody live on the show. I keep getting this request on TikTok. So what you want to do is you want to now, and you're going to love this because not only are you going to be able to drive very nice cars, you don't keep them, clearly. You might be buying them used or new, but this is going to be way better. You want to now assess, get your equity assessment done. This is step 2 of our process. Call your bank, find out exactly what you owe. Never take a dealer's word for what your car is worth. That's only one buyer. You want to go to CarMax, write these down. For those of you who have my book, you don't need to write these down because it's right there in step 2. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, Car Gurus. You want to get these 5 offers. Thank you to everybody double tapping the screen on TikTok. I appreciate y'all running the likes up. Every time you hear something you like, you want to show love, just hit the like button. It matters. It boosts the algorithm, tells everybody, hey, they need to get over here because there's people getting ripped out here with cars. And if they're not here, they're not going to learn these mistakes. So you want to get that. You want to get those offers. Once you get those offers, that's going to tell you what your car is really worth from the highest bidder. Everything with Cars from Home is a bid. Everything. That's how we have guarantees. The reason why you don't have any guarantees when you leave the dealership with a car is because you have not gotten any bids. So we're going to change that today. Now, what you want to do now is ask yourself, very important question, Daniel. How many years are you keeping the next car? Shout out to Southern Creole. Shout out to people who it's your first time on the show. We appreciate you. And we see all your questions. My man Dolan's going to pull them in. We're going to line them up. And we'll answer as many questions as we can over the next hour and 15 minutes. How many years? I want everybody who's shopping in the next 6 months. How many years are you going to keep the next car? Throw numbers out. I want you to think about this. Some of you may know. Years. Daniel, how many years? All right, Charles Lowe, I see you. 3. Nikki, 3. Trisha, 3. Southern Creole, 6 to 8. All leasers. All leasers. Now, out of you who all put 3 to 6 to 8, tell me. I'm not asking about mileage. That does not matter. I'm asking about years. I'm not asking to put a lot of miles. I put a lot of miles on my car due to my job sales. In 2 years, I put 100,000 miles. Okay. Even more reason why you can't buy your cars. Take out loans because here's your car's value, Daniel. And anyone who's a high mileage driver like you, here's your car's value. Boom. That thing's dropping through the ground like a boulder in the water. Here's your loan. So your car is like this, but your loan's going down like this. Which is why when you look up, you have huge amounts of negative equity. Your loan's not moving compared to the depreciation of your car. So we're not talking about paying cars off. I want y'all to stay with me. Leave all of the crap out the door. I don't want your strategy. Just tell me your goal. When you come to Cars from Home, do not bring your strategies here. I'm here to tell you, if we were sitting here face to face, it wouldn't take me more than about 5 minutes to tell you that's never a strategy I would do. Tell me what you're trying to achieve, and let me tell you the absolute best way to get there based on 14 years experience, based on seeing thousands of transactions. Okay? So Your question the first question I just asked everyone, and I want you to keep answering that. How many years are you keeping the next car? That is the most important question in your car buying journey, because now we're trying to see how we're going to beat depreciation. It's not the payments killing you, Daniel. It's the depreciation of the car. It's the fact that, hey, I bought a car, it was worth 30. I put 100,000 miles on it in 2 years. Now it's worth 5. You follow me? It's not the payments you can't afford. It's the depreciation. We call this the unseen expense. Remember that. The unseen expense, depreciation. It comes back. Whoa, what's going on? I got 15,000 negative equity. Yeah, car's depreciated. So here's what we have to consider. We don't want to, first person I ever saw with a high mileage lease. I was a manager at Hyundai for 6 weeks. It was a highway dealership. I did not last there. I literally told them after 6 weeks, no, here you go. I gave them the keys back to their demo because I was a manager. They gave me a demo. And I said, nope. Somebody in here is going to jail. I didn't say that, but I knew that. And the general manager ended up being indicted. They just ran the place like your worst highway dealership. Fights, people doing drugs in the back. It was horrible. 6 weeks. But I learned a very valuable lesson. Guy comes in, he's returning his lease. I see it has 72,000 miles on it. I said, so wait, hold on. You leased this? He said, yeah, I always lease. He said, I used to buy my cars. I'll always have tons of negative equity. Now I'm saying to myself, I know, because there's tons of clients, tons of customers. By that time, I had already been in the business for probably 6 years, 7 years. I'm like, yeah, I see tons of high mileage people coming, but I never thought of a high mileage lease. He said, no. And when I saw his payment, I said to him, whoa, this payment is only like $170, $175 more than a normal good deal on a lease. Pay attention. It's 3 prices you can pay on every car. Most of you are only used to market value and above market value. You're not used to below market value. You're not used to, y'all look at these commercials and be like, well, they said I could lease that car for $490, but I got to put $3,000 down plus tax. And no, those are not deals. So I see that, let's say a good deal on a Hyundai Sonata at that time was like $300, $325. He's only paying like $550, he's only paying like $175 more, and he gets to drive 25,000 miles a year. So I said, okay, that stuck with me because he doesn't have negative equity. $150, $175 more per month. He's driving a brand new car. He drops it off after 3 years. He does it again, over and over again. Now, in your particular case, let's say you had a 25,000 mile a year lease. Now, in my book, I have a strategy, short-term strategy for two short-term strategies for high mileage drivers. One is the high mileage lease, which I just laid out for you. You cannot do that until you shop and get your below market deals first. You can't go into a dealership and say, hey, work me up a high mileage lease. You're something. Who knows about the 80%? If you know about the 80%, type the number 80. If you don't, type a question mark. Maybe we'll talk about that before the end of the show. You can't walk into dealers. 80% of them are overpriced. I said, all right, thank you, Trisha. 80% are overpriced of any brand. So when you get your offers, you cannot walk into a dealership. Now, that's one strategy, high mileage lease. That's great for people who are driving from 20 to 25,000 miles, 18 to 25,000 miles a year, even potentially 30. But in your particular case, you're putting, almost 50,000 miles a year on the car. So what you should do is look at the strategy I call 2 cars, 1 payment. So you need to get one car that is the longest lasting car, very inexpensive. What I mean, look at like a Honda. For example, a Honda Civic, Honda Accord, Toyota Corolla, Toyota Camry. Something that is proven to go. You change the oil, you do the maintenance, that thing will go. Now, what I would do is I go and I get the Toyota. I do a short-term loan, shortest loan possible that you can afford. because you don't want to think, oh, I can get away with this because, you know, I'm just gonna take a $500, $600 payment or a $400 payment. It's coming back to bite you. So you want to get the highest payment you could afford, take a short loan, because what you want to do is pay that car off. And then you go and you lease something for 25,000 miles a year. So let's say I get the Toyota brand new. And quite honestly, if you're doing this many miles, you should have money. I wish a company would tell me to do 50,000 miles a year and I'm not making money. So let's preface that. Those who are on the road 25,000 miles a year, you should be making money. Daniel, you 50,000 miles a year on the road, you should have some money. And that should be a part of what I'm telling you shouldn't be. Well, Deshone, I need to be at a $400 payment. And you drive 50,000 miles a year? What are you doing for a living? So the key is to mitigate the amount of money, to lower the amount of money coming out of your house and prevent these huge negative equity carryovers where you're carrying over 15 grand negative equity and you're carrying it over and putting it on top of whatever car you buy. So whatever car you buy, you're not just paying for that car, you're paying for the car you brought over, that negative equity. You're paying for your old car in your new car. We need to stop that. We need to stop that. So now what I would do now is I would look at, because you have a huge amount of negative equity, I look at a lease on an electric car, something that I could do incredible. Some of these leases on electric cars, whew, you cannot imagine. I got people writing me and posting in our group, in our private group, the leases they're getting on these electric cars. And I gotta label these correctly so I can pull one up, because I got a bunch of people who send me deals, bunch of our members, but they're not labeled. But I've seen leases that are 0.88%, 0.7%. So I think I don't know if it was the Nissan Leaf. I want to say 2 months ago, they were doing leases on those. If you knew how to shop, you could get them for, it was like something stupid like $100 and something a month. That's a car. I go get 2 of them. I do 2 high mileage leases. You get what I'm saying? If I'm you, I'm like, all right, let me lease 2 of these cars. I'm gonna drive electric, because I guarantee you're obviously spending a ton of money on gas. I would get 2 electric cars, lease them both 25,000 miles a year, electric. But again, you got to learn how to shop, because you're going to go into the dealership. You're going to be like, Deshone, the prices that you're talking about are not the prices they're telling me. Exactly. Because everyone who's using our system, when you look at Ken, look at Alex, look at the percentages they're getting on these leases. Look at Courtney. Well, she just got 5,500, almost 5,700 off of her new Honda Pilot. And this is from home. Look, I told you about Marie, 13,000 off. Guys, I want to be very clear with you. If you go out here and you try to get the prices that you see me sharing from my people who are using the Cars from Home system, you're not going to do it. So I'm telling you, you can try calling around. I tell you that all the time. You know my 2 favorite words, multiple offers. You want to call around? Do it that way. Deshone, I called 10 dealerships, man. I spoke to the manager. Hey, I spoke to the salesman. I didn't go in there, and I found out all of those dealers had different prices. I ended up closing my deal with the best one. He was $5,000, $7,000 less than everyone else. You want to do it that way? God bless you. I'm going to clap it up for you. Great job. You want to do it our way, where we don't talk to dealerships? We do everything by email? Great. But if you're not going to get the prices you can get. You're not going to see how much money has been hidden from you until you start getting multiple offers. So that's a couple ways I would go with it, Daniel. I'm either doing some high mileage leases on electric cars, or I'll do a high mileage lease on an electric car. Like literally, I'll be shopping multiple electric cars and just seeing the best offer, who's going to give me the best lease. I kid you not, one of our clients who, like, we were shopping for him for a Cadillac Escalade, like $30,000, like a premium one, and he has inventory for his rental car business. And he's like, hey, I found this deal they're doing on these Nissan. I think it was a Nissan electric. And he's getting multiple offers. He knows how to call around. He's an aggressive guy. He doesn't have a problem with confrontation. And so he's like, I got these things for $100 a month, 10,000 miles a year. So you can get out of that negative equity, roll it over to one of these cars, but get your equity assessment done first. So these are specialized things. I have all of this stuff in my book. I don't think that that's not a normal thing. I don't want any of you thinking, oh man, my situation is so rare. No one's in my situation. No, probably about 100,000 people in the country are in your situation right now. So don't think, oh, Deshone, what about me? Is there anything for me? This thing's so predictable. So, if you want to ask some follow-up questions, Daniel, feel free to. All right, let's move on. Dolan, a couple more questions. Let's roll. I know we got a lot of them coming in. This is our Monday, May 19th, car buying questions and mistakes live. We do these from 12 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So how do I shop for a used truck? So the first thing you want to do is get your, first step is how many years you keeping it. I do not recommend buying for those of you who are not keeping cars 8 years. That's step one of our process. It's called the 8-year rule. It's called the 8-year rule. It is costing you so much money because you're not taking into account depreciation when you get these cars. So let's just assume you're like, Deshone, I'm going to keep this car at least 10 years. Wonderful. Let's move on to step two. Step two would be, let's assess our equity. What's your replacement car? Oftentimes you are going to wait till you find the car you want to even think about the car you have. We don't do that. We need to take an assessment of our asset we have. We have a car. It's worth something. It's either going to be a positive equity position or a negative equity position. In the case of a lease, it can't be a negative equity position. It can only be a positive equity position. But we're going to assess our equity because we don't want to wait till we find the car, find a great deal on it, and now we come and bring our old car to the table and the old car ruins the deal because we don't have any idea what this old car is worth relative to what we owe on it. So you do your equity assessment second. Now we get into our budget. This is step three. How much can we afford? Are you paying cash for the car? It's easier for you to understand what you can afford. For those of you who are financing, in my book, I have a calculator that we created. It's a Cars from Home calculator. We have 5 of them in my book, custom calculators. You put how much, because what happened when I was in dealerships 14 years, some of you know that. Mercedes 5 years, General Motors 5 years, ran my own brokerage for 4 years, been in and around the auto industry since 2006. People would come up to me and be like, Deshone, I could put $4,000 down, but if I don't have to, I'd rather not. Okay, that's the same way I would approach it. Hey, if I got 5,000, I got 2,000, I got 10,000. But if I don't have to put it down, then I'm not. So we need to have a calculator that would tell us, well, if we don't put money down, here's how much we could afford. If we put money down, here's how much we could afford then. If we take a 6-year loan, here's how much we could afford. And this factors in your taxes and fees, which oftentimes these calculators don't do online. So we need to know how much car we could afford. But let's just say you're like, hey, I'm thinking, you make up a number, which is what most people do. I think I could afford like 30,000. Okay. So now we're going to go to the marketplaces. Southern Creole, how do you get the book? It's in my TikTok bio. Normally $97. It's a digital book too, so you don't have to wait for it to come to the mail. It'll be in your inbox by the time we're done with the show. And if you get there, click that link that says welcome offer for Cars from Home digital book. And you'll see it's a $24 special, 75% off. Grab it. Come on back to the show. Same thing on Instagram. It's a link in my bio. For those of you who are watching on YouTube or Facebook, it is in the comments section. DeshonesBook.com. Okay? Digital book. Everything we're talking about, you won't even have to remember it. It's in there. It's a blueprint. So then we move to the marketplaces. So now we know our, well, actually, first we go to step 4, which is shopping, not buying. This is choosing what we want, because I'm gonna tell y'all what's happening right now. They're making cars that are bad cars. A couple manufacturers are making cars that are bad cars. I don't know if they're making them too fast. I have no idea what's going on, but problem cars. And they've been doing that since the pandemic. You got to remember, cars during the pandemic, what did we see happening during the pandemic? Limited inventory. Y'all remember it was an issue with parts? Who remembers that? Who was in the market, or who was even paying attention during the pandemic? Remember all the cars that were, thank you, Charles Lowe. Got the #2 gifted badge, appreciate you. Thank you, Karen Dennis, sharing alive, appreciate you so much. Thank you to everybody running the likes up on TikTok. All y'all do is keep tapping the screen. You'll notice those likes keep flying up. I appreciate you. But who remembers that? We watched this happening. Sneaker Con, I see you. Good to see you, Brenda Abraham. Bought a car, I hate it. All right, we'll talk about that. Remember Brenda Abraham's question on Instagram, Dolan. But let's stay on this right now. So there's cars out here that some of you are going to look at as pre-owned cars, and those cars had reliability issues back when they made them in 2021, 2022, 2023, all through the pandemic, because they were making cars on the fly without having everything they needed. How do we find out? Simple. In my book, I teach you how to go to Google. You type in the year of the car, reliability. Read what it says. Skim the first couple pages. This takes 5 minutes, because our entire process takes 90 minutes, 2 hours. So everything I'm telling y'all is like things I would tell you if we were on the phone. Hey, do this, call me back. Go to this website, call me back. Check this out, call me back. Tell me what you said. Oh, Deshone, I see this car has less than normal, says less than average reliability. Okay. Many of you, who's bought a car 3 months, 6 months, 1 year later, issues with the car? And if you're new here, the way we win here is by being honest. Because everything I'm telling you relates to a new car, relates to a used car, relates to a lease. So if you're not getting something out of what we're talking about, it's you. I don't know if you're cooking, eating, you got music playing in the back and you're trying to hear us talk this money at the same time. If you're not getting anything out of this right now, you need to focus. Okay? Because I've had people lease brand new cars in the shop in 3 months. Buy brand new cars, 6 months. Yo, it's in the shop. Used cars, of course. So how do we prevent that? We take 5 minutes. We skim reliability ratings. We skim initial quality ratings. We skim longevity ratings. And how do we do that? Type in the year, make, model, reliability into Google. Year, make, model, longevity into Google. If you're buying. No one should be, the reason you are getting jammed up is because you are skipping critical steps you would not skip if you were buying a house. You are coasting over important steps that you would never coast over if you were buying any large purchase. You never coast over them. So we're going to Google. We're going to find out, does this car, some of you are looking at used cars. You're like, okay, it has 65,000 miles. I think that's good. You type in longevity, you're going to see these cars typically have transmission issues at 80 to 100,000 miles. Who thinks that's important? Who understands that if you're looking at a used car with 65,000 miles and the data says about 80 to 100,000 miles, you can expect some transmission issues. Type a dollar sign if you understand how critical it is to know. But some people was just going to buy the car. And then 25,000 miles later, transmission slipping. They sold me a bad car. No, they didn't. That is built into the car's DNA. So the reason why we have an incredible process, the reason why our clients who use cars from home are people who use my book, everyone who you see that I share on these streams, we're not focused only on the short term. 3 years down the road, we're still winning. You didn't win if you bought a car, got a great price on it, phenomenal, and then a year later the car is breaking down because you didn't check reliability. So once we do that, I'm walking you through our 7-step. This is our literally, as you're reading my book, you're going to be like, whoa, this is exactly what Deshone said, step by step, because we're not winging this. We don't wing the car buying process. It is a process for us. It is a scientific process. It's not an art, it's a science. You do this, do this, do this, do this. You take the best steps of protecting yourself, getting the best prices. So then we move to the marketplaces. And everything that I just told you, and I'm on step 5 right now, everything I just told you takes about 30 minutes. From deciding whether I'm going to buy or lease, am I keeping the car 8 years, doing my equity assessment, that's going to take me about 20 minutes, doing my budget with the perfect budget calculator. I'm not getting a pre-approval. You can ask me why later. We don't get pre-approvals and let people run our credit with a hard pull before early in this process. So use the perfect budget calculator. That's going to take me about 3 minutes. Do my initial quality longevity check to make sure I'm not buying a car that has bad DNA. 10 minutes. What are we up to so far? See, the first time you use the process, you're like, it's not going to be that quick. It's going to be like, okay. But the second time, okay. Third time, boom, boom. By the time you're getting into your third car for your child or for your spouse, it's like, boom, boom, boom. I know these steps. The steps are not going to change. So everything I just said, we're about 30 minutes in. Critical, important things. Now we come to the marketplaces. We open up CarMax, Carvana, Driveway, not AutoNation, not for marketplaces. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Car Gurus. Should be writing these down. Unless you have my book, you don't have to write them down. All of these marketplaces have different inventory, and sometimes you'll see a car. I remember I was shopping for my Infinity truck, and it was first I thought I was going to get the QX50, and I remember seeing a car that was $36,000, and then I saw it on another marketplace, and it was $34,000. Now it wasn't a scam. Oh, Deshone, is that a scam? No, it's not a scam. On this marketplace, the updates take longer. So when the dealer sends out a price change, lower the price $2,000. This marketplace, it might take them 12 hours to do that. This marketplace, it doesn't. We update quicker. Who understands why you need to have multiple marketplaces open? See, everything we do is for a reason. So now we're going through the process. You look, you see, wait, let's go back. We got Car Gurus, Cars.com, Auto Trader, and Carfax.com. So we open up these marketplaces. We put in our price range. I like to start 100 miles out, and I like to start as new as possible. Let your budget dictate you can't get a 3-year-old. Don't just go back and start looking for a 5-year-old one. See if there's anything in the 3-year range. Does anything in the 3-year range fall in my budget? But here's our goal. With these steps, and 45 million of you are going to buy used cars this year. So there's more people who are going to buy used cars than are going to buy new and lease. So our goal when we open up the marketplaces is not to buy something at that minute. The goal is to see the market and determine, again, in my book, you're going to see, we need to know what is the low side of the market and what's the high side. What's the low side of the market? So you open you open all the marketplaces up. You put in your filters. You put in your criteria. What we do is we create accounts on every marketplace so that when new inventory pops up, we get a notification right then and there. Because if you're competing against someone like me or someone who learns from me or who's using cars from home, you can't compete. I'm going to tell you why. And you're going to eventually be here. When you start using this and believing what I'm telling you, You're going to see why. You're going to be, when you know the market, you're getting inventory alerts. New car pops up. You see it. Most people are going to hesitate. They're going to be like, wow, 28,700. You think that's a good price? They don't know the market. When we open it, we look, when I was shopping for this Infinity truck, I saw it at the low side of the market, 30,000 up to 40,000. So I'm looking for anything popping up close to 30,000, 31. Now, what you're going to see is you're going to get a lot of cars with bad Carfax, a lot of cars with accidents, cars with no service records, red flag. We do not buy cars with no service records. If you can't see the service records on the Carfax from a car, I exit out. You can do what you want to do. I teach you to X that car out. You cannot be surprised when the car breaks down, when you never saw, you looked at that Carfax, you saw it has 60,000 miles, 30,000 miles, 2 services, 1 oil change. Can't be surprised when you have issues. We want to see religious services. So, but the thing is, once you're looking at the low side of the market, you'll see, oh man, Deshone taught me how to, I can see the low side. The low side's coming in. You're looking for the frame damage cars. All of that, when you're opening Carfaxes up, frame damage, structural damage, salvage title. Now you know you're looking at the low side of the market, low prices. So you're going to come up a little bit because you're going to realize, all right, all the low stuff is in that, like, it's giving me that. That's good. So let's say those cars, those salvage cars and all of that is coming in around 18, 19. You might say, all right, 20 is where I think good quality is. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. Again, all in my book. See, and if y'all like, some people like, yo, man, this is a serious process. It's the second most expensive purchase most people are going to make. If we were sitting here talking about house buying and we were laying out step by step how to make sure you get the best deal on the house and never buy a money pit, it wouldn't be a problem. So understand, everything we're talking about is 5,000 to 7,000 or more per car that people are losing not doing these things. So I'm walking you through our process of how we get pre-owned cars. Shout out to the sharers. I see a lot of sharers on the show today. Thank you so much. We're live. This is our Monday, May, what is it, 19th? 19th show. We're live every Monday through Thursday from 12 to 1:30. Feel free to bring a friend. And we replay this show. For those of you who may have missed the first couple minutes, we'll replay the show throughout the rest of the day so you can catch the rest. So now, when you see those, let's say some of you, you're like, man, all right, Deshone, I'm shopping for a black or white truck. Remember, we're trying to see what's the low side of the market. So let's say the low side of the market is 20, 21. You see the salvage cars and the frame damage and the bad Carfaxes, their accidents, they're all like 18, you know. Let's say you get an alert. You see a car for 20. Now that's immediately, I want you to look at any car. Do not put a color in to your filters. When you're looking at used cars, do not filter by color. I'm going to tell you why. You put in black or white, you're not going to get the whole market, even though you're looking for black or white. So let's say I'm looking for black or white. I get an alert, $20,000 car, low side of the market. Price is great. Okay. Now you're also, when you're doing this, you're going to assume, oh, this probably has a bad Carfax. Oh, it probably has this. No problem. It's also not my color. Open it up. Check the Carfax. Oh, good Carfax. Good service records. But it's blue. Not my color. That just showed you what the low side of the market is. That just showed you. Even though that's not my color, I know there's a car out there that's letting me know 20,000 is attainable. So just because you don't see, and this is why I tell you guys, you want to be in the market 3 months early. I teach you how to be in the market 3 to 6 months early so that you can watch these trends. Be at home, position, getting alerts. Because one day you're going to see a black one. Oh, black. Oh, this thing's 20,900. You check. clean Carfax, great service records. Now we verify fees because there's a tactic that the 80% do. Understand, the 80% are 80% of dealers in this country, new and used, that are scammers. They're going to do smoke and mirrors. Our mission is to identify them from home, not to be in the dealership and be like, oh man, Deshone the Auto Advisor told me about you. You're an 80% dealer. Well, you must have not listened to him because he told you not to be in here figuring out we're 80% dealer. He told you be at home. So now we verifying fees from home. All right, I see here. Hey, I'm calling. Can I speak to the sales manager? Hey, I see that you have this car here. You're asking this. Hey, are there any fees besides? What are the fees you charge? Tax, documentation, DMV. That's all we charge. All right, and they said, all right, I'm on my way. Lock the car up. Because you got to understand, we don't wait on deals. Deals don't wait on us. When I was in the dealership, I cannot tell you how many times I am talking to a customer and I'm like, listen, Mr. James, like you really don't understand the deal you're getting here. We know that this is the lowest price car within 100 miles because we use a tool called Kelly's V Auto. It'll tell us where our car is priced in the market. Customers like, the problem is, that's what most of you would do if you're not going to do what I've been laying out for you over the next 15 minutes. You're going to hesitate because you don't know the market. If he knew the market, like you're going to know the market when you use cars from home, you're going to be like, okay, I know that when I drive to this dealership, now here's what we do. We always ask for about $1,500 to $1,000 to $1,500 off when we get there. We test drive it. We make sure it hasn't been smoked in. You got to do that before you get there. Who's ever saw a car online? You get to the dealership, you find out, you say, car smells like smoke. That. Who's had that happen? Type the smoke emoji if you're on your phone. Who's had that happen? Saw the car, got there, dang, man, car's been smoked in. You find that out before you get there. That's what we do. So when 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100 from now on, you understand, Macho Ren. Thank you for checking in on YouTube. I see you. 99 times out of 100, if I am in my car driving to a dealership for a pre-owned car using our tactics, if someone who is using cars from home is getting in their car to drive 45 minutes, to drive an hour and a half, to drive, they know I'm buying this car because they have the information to move. They have the information to not hesitate. That's where I want you to be at. So you ask, hey, I'm shopping for a used truck. How do I do it? That is literally up to step 5 of how we shop for pre-owned trucks. I didn't mention the fact we have to get the brand new price because that's all that matters in terms of a discount. I'll end with that. It does not matter what they're asking for the used car. What matters is what is the discount from the original price. Everything else is fake. Thank you, Marcella. It's good to see you on Facebook checking in. Everything else is fake. When you hear a dealership say, we're asking $24,500 for this used car, we're asking $29,288 for this used car, how do we know that's a good price? We don't. There's no way to know unless you want to start comparing it to other cars. And here's where you'll go wrong with that. You start comparing it to other cars and you don't realize each of those cars has a different original price. Example, when I bought my Infinity truck, it was 3 years old at the time. I had 4 options. I'm looking at 4 options from $30,000 to $32,000, $31,800. Now, the one I bought ended up being the most expensive out of the 4. $30,000 to $32,000. That's what I'm looking at. 3 years old. Now, when I look at them, the one I bought had 26,000 miles. The other one probably had, I think, like 28, 32, 34. So it had the lowest mileage. but it was the highest asking price. So some of you, before you start doing what we're going to have you doing, would have just bought the one that said, hey, let me get the one for 30,000. Let me get the one, Deshone, if it's 4 of them, they all look similar, man, get the lowest price one, right? Who would have did that? You're looking at 4 trucks online, 4 cars online, they look identical. They're ranging price from $2,000 to, their $2,000 swing. Who would have just bought the one that was the least expensive, right? Thank you, Gam Make. I'm sorry, I just butchered your name. Macho Ren, yep, me. Thank you for being honest. That's what most people would have did. That would have been a huge mistake. You're never going to do that again. So I pulled the Carfax. I get the original MSRPs of the trucks. I see that one of them is 46,000 brand new. One of them's 48,000 brand new. One of them is 52,000 brand new. One of them is 54,000 brand new. So now, somebody's horn is going off. So now I have a calculator. It's called the True Value Discount Calculator. I put the asking price in with the original MSRP. It says this one has a 30% discount from the original price. This one has a 34% discount. This one has a 36% discount. And the one I ended up getting, which was the most expensive one at $31,800, had a 42% discount. It had more stuff inside than the other cars. So it's a better value, better deal. Better deal. So this is all of the other stuff doesn't matter. So this is the type of stuff that's just really going over our used car strategy and how we win with used cars. Why don't our people have buyer's remorse? Why aren't our people getting cars that they're regretting? Why aren't our people getting cars that they're driving home and the car breaking down in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? Because there's a process. And you'll have all our processes, not just for used cars, but for below market leases, below market purchases. It's all in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Normally $97, but as part of our welcome offer, you can get your copy for $24, 75% off, but it's only for the next 2 hours. And if you visited the website and that timer started, once that timer hits 0, price goes back up to $97. And it's worth every penny. I didn't price it at $97 saying, oh, no one's going to buy it. We've sold hundreds, if not thousands of books at $97. So $97 is value, but I'd rather you get yours for our welcome offer at 75% off. So head to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments, click that link we have there for you. Go grab your copy. It'll be in your inbox by the time you get off the show. You'll have everything. So you'll have a tool belt. Your husband needs a lease. It's in there. Below market leases, not these stuff prices everyone else is paying. New car. You're buying a new car. Oh, you're buying a pre-owned car for your child. All in there. High mileage driver. Your cousin's a high mileage driver. Come here. Let me help you with this. All in there. All right. So go grab your copy. Come on back to the show. All right, Dolan. Let's go. Next one. That boy Drewski, thank you. You got the number 1 or number 3 gifter badge. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who's supporting the show. Thank you to everybody who's tapping the screen, running those likes up. Bought a car. I hate it. I want to trade. I'm still under 5K miles. How can I trade without being upside down? Cars are not made to be they're not made to be traded without losing money. So if you, let's just say, for example, you had paid cash, you never be discussing this. How much is the car? Just purchase the book. Thank you, Charles. Use it. Enjoy it. TLJ. It is in my Instagram bio. There's a link there. Click that link and then just click that blue button that says welcome special, $24. How many years? I had asked this young lady a question. So let's just say, for example, and this is why, listen, I feel for you. I don't like the fact you're saying you hate the car. That sucks to have purchased a car and then be hating it. But I need you to realize that if you're going to get out of it, you are going to bite a bullet. That means it's going to be pain. Now, I'd rather you understand the pain, not like, okay, just get me in a new car. I don't care. Get me out of this thing. I don't want to know, like some people do. So if you understand the numbers, then you won't get buried again. Because quite honestly, the reason you're in a car that you hate is because somewhere along the car shopping process, you went in saying, all right, listen, I don't really need to test drive it. All right, nope, I don't need to drive it for a long time. Oh, I don't need to make sure that it is going to be exactly what I want. I don't need to make sure that it's going to do what I need it to do. And this is the result of that. So a car that, let's say you bought for $30,000. The minute you drive off the lot, it's worth $25,000. Welcome, Lauren Payton. Thank you. Welcome to the community. New people on TikTok checking in. It's worth $25,000. You've lost 15% the day you buy it. If you came back 3 days later and said, all right, listen, hey, can you buy this car back from me? There's another owner on record. You've lost 15% minimum. New cars, you're going to lose probably 25%. And depending on how good the deals are that you didn't get, like say, for example, let's take somebody like Marie. I like to use Marie because she's an example of a dramatic discount. So she uses the book. She gets her 2025 GLC coupe, fully loaded. She gets $13,000 off the price. Let's say she was to come back later, a month later. You know what? I hate the car. What can you give me for it? Well, she's going to lose because the market value is going to go down. But because she got the bottom, she got a below market offer, she's not going to lose as much. Now, let's just say another person who has no skills or who's just a regular negotiator, they get $5,000 off the GLC, $3,000. They think they're doing good. Now they come back and they say, hey, I want to get rid of this. What can you buy? What could you buy it back for? They're 7,000 or 10,000 poorer than Marie is. So in order for you to not lose big, you need to be able to you need to get these deals for below market value. You need to get these deals because some of these cars, guys, you can save $7,000, $10,000, $15,000 off of them. So if you're only saving $2,000, $3,000, you're coming back and you're like, dang, I'm skewed because the price you paid is so high. The dealers know that the market for this car is $10,000 off, $12,000 off. But we got this woman to pay. We only gave her $2,000 off. So if she ever comes back to trade it, she doesn't realize you're going to lose so much because you overpaid to begin with. So the key is, I cannot stress this enough, making sure when we sign those deals, we are not leaving in a car unless we guarantee we got a below market offer. That is you'll notice I'm going to keep beating these words into your subconscious so that when next time you sign a deal, if you didn't listen to what we're saying, you're going to be like, oh, is this a below market deal? No, it isn't. Okay, maybe that'll stop you and say, you know what? I need to really think about this. Let me go home. No, wait, what do you mean? Hey, listen, hey, what if we get, hey, listen, we want you to take it today and all of that. You know what? If you don't know for a fact you got a below market offer, you should not be signing that deal. So now let's get back to the real. If you were paying cash and you were seeing how much the car would be worth, first thing you need to do is assess your equity. And I'm going to tell you something that might help you, but I want you to hold out for this. Okay? And this is to you guys who may be in a similar position to this young lady from Instagram. It's going to require a little patience, but it may work out in your favor here. I want you to assess your equity now. Call your bank, get the exact payoff. And then I want you to go to those 6 websites. If you throw in We Buy Any Car, you can throw in another, you can have another 7th website: Carvana, CarMax, Driveway, KBB, Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, and Car Gurus. We Buy Any Car, that's the 7th. We're getting a bid. This is a bidding process. You're not going to have any guarantees, below market deals. Forget about them unless you're bidding. If people are not making bids for your business, you're not getting below market deals. They're just fooling you into thinking you are. Below market deals come from competition. It's a competition. Competition. So when you have all of these cash buyers who are like, hey, I'll pay you this for the car, I'll pay you this for the car, I'll pay you this for the car. Now you're able to see exactly what your car is worth. All right, perfect. Thank you, Renee Patricia. Good to see you. Got the number 2 gifted badge. Thank you so much. Y'all lighting TikTok up today. I appreciate it. Now, you assess your equity. How much upside down am I? Now, you need to take that and be sober with it. Like, all right, I owe $30,000. They're offering me 22. That means I have $8,000 of negative equity. My highest bid is 22, but I owe 30,000. And you need to sit and chill, because if these tariffs come, here's what's going to happen. The prices of new cars are going to go up. And when the prices of new cars go up, the only way, and I was saying this back 4 years ago, when the pandemic first started, I said, guys, these prices that they're selling you these cars for because you're not shopping, the 80% are charging you prices that are not sustainable. You're going to be $20,000 upside down, $25,000 upside down when the market returns to normal. Because what they were telling you is this is the new normal. This is the new normal. It's like real estate. Everything's gone up in value. Sure. And I was shouting from the hills that these cars are not going to retain this value, because the only way that the cars that you can pay 5, 7, 10,000 more because of a temporary situation is if all the prices go up and they stay there permanently. But we knew this was a supply chain issue. This was a microchip issue. And we knew once the cars got the chips and the production went back to normal, here we go. Prices are back down again. And you paid up here and you're stuck up there when the market is back down here. So we're potentially going to see the same thing happen, but the difference is they will stay up there most likely. If the tariffs stay forever, they'll stay up there, which means the new car market is higher, 25% higher. It's not going to affect us leasing that much. It'll affect some, but those of you who haven't started leasing yet, I mean, you are literally late to the party. But you run your numbers now when the tariffs hit. And maybe you see, oh man, my car when I ran it back in May was $8,000 difference. Now it's only $3,000 difference. You might want to hold out a little longer. Let the market keep going up. Let the demand keep going to used cars. And next thing you know, the prices that was, you probably see that your car is $7,000, $8,000 higher than what it normally would have been worth. That's going to be a good situation. So as this happens, we'll continually tell people, because that is really when we were having that happen, we had people selling their leases for $7,000, driving them. I sold my lease, drove it for 3 years, 39 months, sold it, made $9,000, $9,100. My mother drove her Mazda CX-5, 3 years. Lease was over, sold it, made $10,200. She's a low mileage driver. Car only had like 18,000 miles, but it had gone up. It was literally worth $10,000 more than what it would have normally been worth, or 8,000 more. So those of you who haven't learned about leasing yet, late to the party. Those of you who haven't learned about selling leases, late to the party. You haven't learned about selling cars that you still owe money on. You think you had to wait for the title before you can go sell it, late to the party. All of this is in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can grab your copy. It's in my TikTok bio. Click that link in my Instagram bio. Click that link. Click the button that says $24, and it's for 2 hours. So if you went there already and you saw the timer, you might be at like 90 minutes left. Once it hits 0, offer's over. It goes back to $97. So if you miss it, still worth $97, because one tactic is going to pay for the book times 10. One. There's nothing in that book that's worth $100. My free Carfax strategy that I share in the book. Be like, man, Deshone, I used that strategy. I saved $99 just on Carfaxes. So go, and for those of you watching on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, it's in the comment section. We have a link for you, and Facebook, we have a link for you. Go grab your copy. Make sure when you get it, you screenshot the thank you page. So just in case it's not in your inbox, you might have typed your email wrong. Any problems, you'll have my support team's email. And then come on back, type the word book. And for those of you who have the book, type the word book. And after you grab your copy, type the word book. And I love to shout out people that got the book. So anyway, go ahead. Oh, the Gen Generation got my book. I'm in the process of looking for a vehicle. This is right on time. Amen. I'm so glad to hear that. Just use it. Stay on your steps. It's a checklist, Jen. Don't worry. It's not a Bible. You don't have to read it all. You know, it's literally do step 1, check it off. Next, step 2, check it off. Step 7, I'm congratulating you and we're setting up delivery or your pickup. Okay? Yours truly. Shout out to you. Congratulations. Use the book, and please make sure you send me your emails. Like I just got this one. Successful acquisition of, hold on. I want to pull the one up with the picture. There we go. I just got this one. Successful acquisition 2025 Mazda CX-90S Turbo Premium Plus Hybrid. I saw the specific 2025 Mazda CX-90S Premium Plus Hybrid with precise trim, exterior and interior color specifications. Only one such vehicle existed in Georgia. After soliciting quotes from all Georgia Mazda dealerships, I show you how to get contact 25 dealers in 20 minutes. For those of you who are shopping for a new car or a lease, new car or lease, I already laid out our pre-owned strategy. Like that was probably the first time we ever did that, Dolan, really laid out the pre-owned strategy step by step. But for those of you who are shopping a new car or a lease, this is the strategy we use. It's called the 25 to 5. I show you how to connect with 25 dealers. I have my email scripts in there. All you're doing is copying and pasting, having all conversations. You're not making up anything. You don't have to, what am I going to say? Oh, Deshone, I got to remember this stuff. Nope, it's copying and pasting. So if you can use a computer, you can use that. So he reaches out. Let's continue with Ken's story. He said, after soliciting quotes from all Georgia Mazda dealerships without initially specifying color preferences, a bidding war ensued. I love those 2 words. Between the dealership possessing the exact vehicle and another offering the desired trim but a different color scheme. Leveraging the Cars from Home counter offer system, which is one of those custom calculators. We have a calculator that I wrote the code for, and it's not. You put all your offers you get into the calculator. It tells you this one's the best. Counter offer at these numbers. So the dealership with the alternative color offered to beat any written offer. The final acquisition resulted in a 1.25% lease agreement, 0 down payment, 36-month term, 12,000 miles allowance, all taxes and fees included, plus the first month's payment covered by the dealership. The MSRP was $60,000. Wow. Yielding a payment of $760, no money down. Now, for those of you who know our rule of financing, how much would a $60,000, remember, he put no money into this deal, not a dime. The dealership even covered the first payment that won the bid. How much would a $60,000 car cost if we financed it with no money down? Throw some numbers out there. Some of you guys know our rule. Can I sell my lease? I have the lease from Navy Federal Credit Union. You can sell any lease if it has equity. Not every lease has equity. Thank you, yours truly, 1200. Thank you, K Camp 414. $1,200. Because you got to realize this person's obviously shopping for a vehicle that he said it's a specialized vehicle. I know what I want. It's a premium plus S turbo. It's not a Toyota Corolla. It's not a Toyota, nothing against Toyota Corollas. This is a $60,000 vehicle he's shopping for. It's not a $300 payment. Some of you who are like, Deshone, my payments are always there. Okay, deduct your down payment. I cannot tell you how many of you are getting your down payments. You're not even factoring that into your actual cost. There are people who will say, well, my car payment's only $450. That's what I like my payments to be. How much did you put down? Oh, yeah, I know that face. I think I put down like 10,000. No, you didn't. You probably put down like 13. Yeah, when I look at the paperwork, because I've had people come into the dealer, I'm trying to talk to them about these things, and they're like, okay, well, this, and I'm like, you have your paperwork with you? I look at the paperwork. Oh, you actually put down. They'll say, oh, I did no money down, or I did a little. I think I did like 3,000. Hey, actually, you did like 7,500. Oh, that's right. That's right. People forget their down payment like that. They don't even factor that in. So if we were to back out the down payment and compare apples to apples, we would see $1,200 is what he would have been paying versus $760 for this $60,000 car. And he does it from home. Sits at home where nobody can walk into his house. No dealership, no salesperson can walk in and say, hey, get off that computer and get on into the dealership where we could charge you more money. Stop talking to all of those other dealers. Stop making us compete against our competition. Get on in, come on in and let us show you this sale we're having this weekend. Don't you know, didn't you see the commercial? We got all types of sales coming. We need you in here to see them. Yeah, sure, not coming in. That's why it's called Cars from Home. All right, so shout out to Ken. All right, Dolan, next question. Let's keep them going. We got time for a couple more questions. Let's go. Do you pay the acquisition fee on the lease? All our fees, this is how we shop our leases, Boy Wonder. Okay. Again, this is templates. So in my book and in our shop with Deshone, any of our we use templates. 12,000 miles per year. First month's payment due at signing. Taxes and fees in the payment. We tell them assume tier 1. Now, on top of that, in our template, we have what we do for a living. They need that to give us an offer. See, some of you, you're like, Deshone, I tried shopping online. Man, it was difficult. I couldn't really get offers. You don't realize you're not. The reason we have templates that you fill in is because we know what dealers need to even give you an offer. We know what they don't need. So they might tell you, oh, we need your credit. No, they don't. We'll assume tier 1. But we need to know the vehicles that are in your household. We need to know if you're military. We need to know what your affiliations are, what programs are, what your professions are. In our template, we fill in the deadline. See, nothing's left to chance. I told you at the beginning of the show, don't bring me your strategy. Just bring your goal. I'm going to help you lay out the I'll lay out the strategy because you don't get why. Oh, why is this process, the Cars from Home process, so much more effective? It's because I'm from the inside. I'm not you. So let's start there. I can't come into your job you've been in for 20 years that you've mastered. You've been in every position. And I could say, how do you make this thing run like this? It's hard for me. Yeah. So we created a McDonald's system that creates the results because we know you're not giving the dealerships what they need to even give you an offer. And then we also realize that it's about multiple offers because 8 out of 10 of them are overpriced. 8 out of 10 dealers, it's going to shock you. You'll never walk into another dealer again for a price. Once you use what we're telling you, you will never walk in. You'll see how dangerous it is. You will see how dangerous it is. I'm going to show you something that to really hammer home. This is one of our clients that we shop for because some of you know we do shop for clients. We have a particular division that shops for clients. New cars and leases only. FICO scores over 680. You can see here. Now, this is a low price car. It's a Subaru. We created a bid for this client. We can see the cars were priced 28, 27, 30, 29, 29. Now, some of these dealers, when we shop these cars, we're doing all-in offers, taxes, fees, everything. This is not a lease. This was a client that's purchasing. And we can see here that one dealer gave pretty much no discount. Looks like about 500, 1,000. That was their best offer. We can see the second one that's not highlighted, 27,000. 30,009 is the all-in price, so they pretty much gave no discount. That's their best offer, maybe $500 off. Very small offers, because most of you don't expect big discounts off of these inexpensive cars. So, you know, this one dealer here looks like they have a fake fee. They got $4,000 with taxes and fees. 26,000 is the MSRP. 30,000 is the out the door price. This dealer here, the 27,797. They gave us, looks like, one of the best discounts. No, maybe the next best discount. These two here are kind of low, but they're not low. They're probably 1,200 off, something like that, 1,500 off. Now here comes the winner, highlighted in green, 3,900 off. They needed the bid. Now, we're not going back to them in 3 years if they want another car from them. We're not going back. We don't keep a list of, hey, you won the bid back in May. We'll see you again. And whenever we need a car from that client in that area, we'll call you first. No, they needed a car that day. They needed, that salesman needed the deal. That dealership needed the deal. They went deep. They won the bid. They're not going to win the bid every single time. So, but look at how most of these dealers, if you're walking into them, you're never going to, you can't identify a needle in a haystack. You can't say, oh, there's 25 Subaru dealers in Florida. I think I'm just going to walk into this one, and I think this is going to be the 20% that Deshone talks about. No, you have much more likelihood for them to walk in, and not only are they not the 20%, they don't even have the car. You notice there are people on this list that didn't have the car. They didn't have a match. So you're walking into a dealership, oh no, we don't have it. We could get one for you. Are they a dealer that's going to win the bid and they're trying to get the car for you? Now you walk into another dealer, 80% dealer. All right, yeah, we'll give you 1,000 off, just as a courtesy. This is how most people buy. We got our deal done before you even get home from the dealership. The time it takes you to be in a dealership, 7-8 hours, we already got multiple bids coming in. So it's a different world. So to your question, Boy Wonder, I answered your question before I even got into this. You use that format, and that's how you get the deals done. You don't, that's how you shop your lease offers. We build in fees into the payment. I answered that. But then I went on to another subject concerning why you can't just tell them this. You got to give them the rest of the information that they need to shop the deals so that you can get multiple offers. So, all right, Dolan, let's go. Keep it moving. For those of you who don't want to remember this, you're like, Deshone, I've been on the show for a couple minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Man, give me the blueprint. Just give me the step-by-step. That's my new digital book. It's already 5-star rated. You can Google it. Thank you to everyone who's reviewed it on Goodreads. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's our entire blueprint for below market leases, below market purchases, below market new cars, used cars, high mileage driving, below market high mileage driving deals. For those of you who have bad credit, we have below market bad credit strategies. The only thing you should be overpaying for, or not even overpaying for, paying more for if you have bad credit, is your loan. Many of you with bad credit, you're overpaying for the loan and the car. You're overpaying for the loan and the car, and you're getting a car that is not a quality car. Like, you let bad credit make you ruin your whole, you just leave with desperate. Like, anything you can put me in. I don't care if the car is not what I want. I don't care how much you're charging me for it. Can you get me to $450 a month? That is you understand that is not wise, and hopefully you're looking for a better way, because you understand, like, you're going in there with your eyes closed. And then the thing about you guys with bad credit, and I want to be clear on this, you tell all your friends with bad credit about the person who robbed you. You literally, anyone who could get you approved, that's why they tell you. I had a guy, my neighbor, he said, "Hey, aren't you in the car business?" I said, "Yeah, yes and no." He said, "Well, listen, I got this deal over here at Acura. Anybody any credit score, tell me, I'll send them there, get them done." I said, "Okay, all right, listen, I'll keep that in mind." I would never have somebody shop like that. He said, "Listen, anybody you send, $1,000. So that's how much money is being made on people with bad credit. There's a lot of money being made on people with no matter what. 5-7 grand on most people is being made. Bad credit, $10, $12, $15,000 they're making on you. If they can pay me, the referrer, all I did was, hey, here's John Spencer. Give him a call. All right. This guy who doesn't even work for Acura, he does not even work for Acura. He's a middleman. Takes John Spencer's deal to Acura. Hey, we got John Spencer in the car. Where should I send you $1,000? So how much is he making? Y'all understand? Type dollar signs, type sad faces. If you got the emoji, type sad faces. You got to understand, I'm not inviting you guys here on a Monday at 5 on the 19th of May to talk to you about hundreds of dollars. Who cares about hundreds of dollars? Maybe some of you, I'm not going to be insensitive. You're like, Deshone, $100 matters to me. We are talking about $5,000 mistakes, $8,000 mistakes you are making. I have to shock you, and then you hold me to it. If the book doesn't deliver, you just write me an email. Hey, Deshone, you know what? You were talking all these big numbers. You were saying like I was missing thousands of dollars. You were saying like I was really leaving thousands of dollars on the table. But you know what? I read the whole book. I used what you taught me. And I was only missing like probably a couple hundred. Never got one email like that in 3 years. Because once you get into it, you'll realize. And in fact, let me read the end of Ken's email that he wrote. Said the Cars from Home system facilitated the acquisition of the desired vehicle at optimal terms. I highly recommend this approach. If you are not using the Cars from Home system, capital letters, you are getting played. Sincerely, Ken. All right, the Gen Generation on YouTube. Good to see you. When negotiating on a used car, is it fair to start 15% below asking price? No, that's not the way we buy used cars. You are not going to see. The thing is, this is what we call, when you're not getting bids, what you're doing is you're feeling for the bottom. I laid out the strategy of exactly how we identify the low side of the market, which means when I was looking at my Infiniti truck, I told you, I narrowed it down to the top 4. There were tons of cars that were higher, 33, 34, 35. I'm not even looking at those. Those are the cars that have $5,000, $7,000 room to move, maybe. They probably are not going to move because they're going to make $5,000 or they won't sell a car. If they can't make $7 grand, they're not going to sell a vehicle. I'm not even looking at the higher price used cars because I know that the dealers who sell the best price used cars, they want volume. Volume. It's 2 types of dealers, 80% and 20%. 20% say, you know what? Let's price our car like we want to be the top 5 best price in the market. Move it. We want the car out of here in 72 hours or less. 80% will say, all right, price the car, mark it up 8 grand. We don't care if we got to hold on to it for, 2 months. Eventually, somebody will come in. We'll probably take off 2 grand for them, 3 grand. All right. So I can't negotiate with a volume dealer. You're going to look and say, man, but hold on. Why you not? You literally find the best price online. You've been watching the market like I laid out for you the first 15, 20 minutes of the show. You get the alert. This car is the best. Oh, good Carfax, great service records. You call. There's no fees. You pull up the new window sticker. Oh, huge discount from the original price. Man, let me get out here. You get out there. You say, hey, all right, now take another 15% off and we got a deal. They're going to say, what, you didn't do your research? Now, if you sit there like other people who are not researched, all right, well, I feel like, though, if I can't get money off, though, that got to be something everybody gives money off. You didn't do your research? All right, let me print a report out for you. Here's a report. This is our car, and within 100 miles, we're the number 2 price, we're the number 1 price. Yeah, man, but I know you still got room. All right, listen, sir, appreciate you coming in. And you lost the deal. You lost the deal. I said when we get to the dealership, we ask for $1,500 off, and that's it. On a used car, when I drove there, I said, look, $1,500 off. They gave me another $800 off. I test drove the car. I said, listen, but here's the thing. Even if when we make counter offers, because we know the market, and you will know the market, so you're not making blind counter offers to feel for the bottom. I'm just feeling for the bottom. You are already know I'm dealing with the best price person. I got all the information. It's come right to me. So now you get there and you're like, all right, listen, I test drove it. I like it. Nice car. You could do $1,500 off additional. I'll take it right now. I won't take it right now. We never take it right now. But we'll make the deal. I'll leave a deposit. I just got to go check with my bank, see what their rates are. We got a deal. They're going to say one of 3 things. Most likely they're going to say, listen, I'm going to be honest with you, because they don't know who you are. So they're just going to look at you like this guy, unfortunately, or this woman, she doesn't know what she's doing. So let me try to educate her. We actually priced this car to sell. And if you're really using what we're talking about, you're going to see the car hasn't even been there long. Because sometimes you're getting alerts. You pop up, you get the alert, you come there, and you're like, hey, I'm the first one here on this car. Before people even know this car has hit the market, I'm about to take this thing off the market. So they're going to be like, listen, I respect the offer. We priced this car to sell. It's the lowest price car in the market, in which case, you know, they're being honest. You're right. I know it is. But, you know, we price it. It's a fair price. It's a great price, you know, and, you know, we can't get you to see that. Understood. Oh, no problem. I'll take it. And it's going to shock them because you're going to be like, oh, wait, that was a bluff. Yes, it was a bluff. I had to see, because we never accept an offer before we find out if this is your best offer. So I have to ask for $1,500 off. Now, sometimes I say, listen, I'll be honest with you, like they did with me. You know, car hasn't been here long. You know, we got it priced to sell. I'll meet you halfway. You know, and that's what I say. I do $800. No problem. I'll take it. And sometime in rare cases where they just want to move the car, they're like, all right, listen, I'll take it. But that's rare. I'll take the $1,500. We can make the deal. But either way, when you're an educated buyer that knows the market, I'm not driving to a used car dealership or a dealership that has a used car hoping if they give me $1,500 off or another $2,000 off, I'm going to take the car. No, I already know from home, I am taking this car. Unless I get in it and it drives funny or something's off, I've already shopped the market within 100 miles. I've already narrowed it down based on title history, accident history, service record. I've seen the original price of the car. I've verified there's no fake fees. I'm on my way. It's not a smoke thin car. I'm not going there looking for, oh, save me even more. We're already beating everybody. You're talking about come in, save me even more. Uneducated buyer. Okay? This is what causes headaches for you. You leave thinking, oh man, that dealership didn't want to sell a car. No, you didn't know what a great deal was. You just walked away from a great deal because psychologically you said to yourself, if they're not taking off more money, it has to be something wrong. Rather than understanding that's a 20% dealer, they want that car moved in 2 days. They're not going to sit there with $5,000-$7,000 in markup. They're doing volume. They're in the small markup business. Move these cars out of here. All right. Great question. Great question. All of this is in my digital book. Those of you, and you listen, y'all understand. You understand. K Camp, good to see you. Chuck DeGraw, good to see you. Never put anything down on a lease. I don't agree with that. You just need to know the risk. I'll give you an example. On a lease, there's 2 ways to lose your down payment. We shop all our leases with no money down. Here's the key. If you can find a lease, you get your offers, get your bids. If you can get your lease, best offer, no money down, it's in your budget, take the deal, no money down. I've never put more than like $1,200. I think on this truck, we put $1,270 down. That's the most of it. And it includes our first payment. So it included the first lease payment. You pay your lease payment at the beginning of the month. But here's the thing. Some of you are shopping for vehicles. You're shopping for Mercedes. You're shopping for 50, 60, 70, 80, $100,000 vehicles, Bentleys, Rolls Royces, Range Rovers. You're shopping for vehicles that are expensive. And the key is you shop with no money down so you can understand what's the percentage of the best offer. What's the percentage of the best offer? Is it a 1% lease? I got all my offers. Is it a 1.2% lease? And for those of you who don't know, we haven't had a chance to talk about that yet. But when you hear people talk about, like you'll hear a lot of people when you see us post lease offers. Oh, look, this was the one I was looking for. This is the GV80, 2025 GV80 that our client got $8,500 off of it, and then they came back later and they lowered it another $1,000. End up getting $9,500 off. So any of you who have a 2025 GV80, I'm showing you a below market offer. You're like, Deshone, I got the GV80, man. They told me they wasn't discounting them. $8,500 is what believing that cost you. Now you might say, Deshone, I got $2,000 off. $6,500. In fact, our client actually got $9,500 off because this was a 873. And then do I have the other 873? Yep, that was their first offer. You can see in column E. We used our counter offer calculator. They came down at 840. So like I said, another $1,000. He got $9,500 off a 2025 brand new Genesis GV80. Almost 10 grand off. Is that enough for you to say, whoa, all right, Deshone, let me get the $24 book? Because you're telling me I got a GV80. I didn't get almost 10,000 off of it. Okay. See, I got to talk to you like this because there's no other way for you. And still, we don't talk philosophical here. I show the numbers. So anyway, I forget how I got on that. I think we were talking. What were we talking about? Somebody had asked a question about putting money down on leases. So let's go. Once you understand the percentage, like let's go back to that deal. Let's go back to that lease deal on that GV80. So percentages is how we gauge value on a lease. That's a 1.3% lease. Now you can't you can't judge the percentages until you find the best dealer because you need to get the biggest discount. And then you can judge the percentage. We don't know if a dealer's hiding money in the money factor, which is the interest rate, not giving you the rebates. All of this stuff that is unadvertised that you're like, wait, they just told me it was $700 a month. Okay. We know if there's any rebates they're hiding. Do we know? So we reveal this stuff through bids. We find the dealer, but then we look and say, all right, we divide the monthly payment into the MSRP. It gives us a percentage. Now, there's going to be various percentages of leases. The best offer on one vehicle is not going to be the best offer on another. This is an Infinity. We can see here the best offer on this is a 1.1% lease. $61,000 Infinity, $680 a month. But we can see $889 from other dealers, $873 from other dealers. So now, after we get the percentages, let's just say this person right here is like, Deshone, I got a 1.1% lease, $680 a month. Jesus, that's your deal. But let's say they're like, you know what? I like to get my payment down to $599 though. I really want my payment under $600. That's what's comfortable for me. All right, now you can put your money down. But we need to gauge risk. If the vehicle's stolen and not recovered, you don't get your down payment back. So you have to go out, shop again, and make another deal. So you want to ask yourself, how many vehicles have I had stolen in my life? If your answer is none, then the chances of you having, it's a once in a lifetime event, would lose you your down payment. Now you might say, Deshone, man, 3 of my cars been stolen. That's a different level of risk. You probably don't want to put money down because you have a higher likelihood of your cars being stolen. And if they don't find them, you lose your down payment. So next thing that you lose down payment is car gets totaled. If you have an accident and the car is totaled, you don't get your down payment back. So now the second question is, what is the likelihood that this car is going to be totaled? Well, if you're driving a big SUV, you'd have to have probably a once in a lifetime accident to total the vehicle. If you're leasing a Honda Civic, almost any accident, if it's serious enough, will total the vehicle. That's a different level of risk. So that's how we assess. I don't want you feeling bad about, oh, I shot my office, I got a 1.2% lease, I got a 1.4% lease, I got a 1.3% lease. I don't want to put $3,000 down because it's an SUV. My chances of totaling it are very slim. And also, I've never had a car stolen. I'll put $3,500 down to put my payment. I'll put $5,000 down to put my payment where I want it to be. All you're doing is prepaying some of the lease to lower your payment. But the key is understanding. I mean, I've had clients who lease S-Class, $120,000 cars, $110,000 cars, GLSs, G-Wagons. They want to lower their payments, but they've already assessed this car is not going to get stolen and it's not going to get totaled. So that's the key. There's nothing wrong with putting money down on a lease. The key is assessing the risk. Now, also, what's in my book is before you put money down, we look at things like multiple security deposits. Because some of you are going to see, let me show Rosalie. Do I have Rosalie's deal in here? Rosalie leased her Infinity truck last year. And in my strategies, I teach you how to understand multiple security deposits. So multiple security deposits are when you let the manufacturer use money during the lease, and in exchange for that, they lower the interest rate on the lease. So let's say and this is not eligible. Every car is not eligible, and it doesn't make sense for every car. That's why it's a special strategy, advanced strategy. So if you have $5,000 and you say, okay, I could either put money down to lower my payment, or I could do multiple security deposits. Security deposit is usually an estimate of one lease payment. So if your lease payment is $540, one security deposit might be $550. And every security deposit, some people will let you do up to like 7 to 10. Every security deposit lowers the interest rate on the lease. So now that's a money return calculation. In other words, if I let you hold $5,700, what is the return I get on that? Well, you lower my payment $40 a month times 36 months. Okay, $40 a month. That's significant amount of money for me letting you hold this. Would I get more money in the market? Would I get more money? It's literally an investment question. That's why we're not discussing this with everyone. But some of you who have money in savings, 10 grand, 20 grand extra, it's just sitting there and you're like, you can afford to be without it for 3 years. That's a situation where you let them hold it, but it only works if the interest rate is high on the lease. If you already got a great interest rate on the lease, you're already at a 1.1, 1.2. Sometimes it's not going to make sense, but you never know. It could be you're at a 1.1 because, again, I'm not going to get it too complex because most of you are not going to do multiple security deposits. But for those of you who are like, financially astute and you got the extra disposable income, don't think there's anything that I have not covered. There's nothing. You're not going to say, oh, Deshone, well, I never hear you talk about one-pay leases, because most people are not going to be able to afford a one-pay lease. But it's in there. It's in my book. It's in my Cars from Home Shop with Deshone course. So, as I said, all of your situation is a struggle to you. It's easy for me, easy for us. It's not nothing new for us. You're not going to wow us with your situation. Oh, I have a situation that you guys have never seen. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's only about 20, 30 different scenarios that you can be in, and we've covered all of them. So if you're like, Deshone, I need that blueprint. I don't want to be out here winging this process anymore, not knowing how to sell my leases and not knowing how to see if I have equity in the lease. We weren't able to talk about that today, but not knowing how to get dealers to bid, get banks to bid. We didn't talk about the bank bidding war. Get banks and credit unions to bid and then put the dealers against them and all of it. We haven't talked about that. But it's all in my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It is as part of my welcome offer. You get yours it's normally $97. You get yours for $24. In my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, click that link, or in the YouTube comments, the Facebook comments, you get yours for 75% off, but it's only for 2 hours. Once that timer hits 0, $97 is the normal price. And as you can see through all these testimonials and through all of this money we're saving, even at $97, you would still get a 20x, 100x return, because you can use this book over and over and over and over again for every car. So for those of you who are like, Deshone, I just want to start out with something free, you can also start out with my free cheat sheets. For those of you who would like to investigate Cars from Home done for you, if you qualify for that, new cars and leases only, and you have to have FICO scores over 680, you can book a call with our team. It's a free 10-minute call. See if this is something that works for you. And for those of you who are like, Deshone, can we shop together? Is there a way that I could work with you and actually learn and do this? You teach me to do this over and over and over again. We work together with every car. You can look at our Shop with Deshone, Cars from Home Shop with Deshone, where instead of the book reading, we have video checklists where you go down the checklist in video form. It's just like if we were on a phone call, where I give you do this first, then go to the next video. Do this first, then go to the next video. And then we have our private Facebook group, and we do coaching calls twice a month for 6 months to make sure you are mastering the process for the first 6 months, and then you know how to fish forever, so that we're essentially buying cars forever. Every single car we're buying it together. All right. So whatever is right for you and your situation and your learning style, those are in the Cars from Home Toolkit, carsfromhometoolkit.com, or the bios. And we'll be back tomorrow, May 20th, for our Tuesday show, 12 noon to 1:30. Thank you, Dolan. Thank you to everybody who got questions in. And thank you to everybody who got your book. Please make sure you are sending me your success stories. Continue to write me those emails. Send the pictures of the cars when you get them. I love seeing those, and I never get tired of seeing them. So I'll see you on the show tomorrow, and God bless you. God bless you. Keep winning. Keep unlearning.